Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Diekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. Yes, I have a website called Nerdrotic.com, so I back everything up. It's where the podcasts go. And we are here on Hump Day. What's up? So, Hollywood had a really crappy weekend, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't know about you. I didn't watch the Oscars. I will not support that. I watched some of the highlights, and this isn't really about the Oscars. Screw the Oscars. They're stupid. They've been stupid for a long time, but they do remain one of the best displays of Hollywood debauchery and circle jerkery on the planet. And it looks like more and more people every day are getting sick of this garbage, and I'm so happy about that, but we are a long way. We are a long way. My hair was a little frizzy there. I had to change shirts. I wanted to change shirts. Just got back from the gym a little while ago, and let's see who's here. Okay. Tito's World, Shake and Bake, 145, Grim, Silverthorn, Goodtree, Starry-Eyed Girl, the third female doctor played by Starry-Eyed Girl, who inspired my last video. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching it. I've gotten a lot of very interesting feedback, a lot of good, and some rather salty constructive criticism, I must say. Mark 63366, Andrew Griffins. This is Zaphod. Oh, Zaphod Beeblebrox, the president of the galaxy. There we go. Joseph Miskovich, Nicholas Horton, Paul O'Halloran, Nick Palmsano. I'm sorry if I screwed that last name up. Robert Morgan, Brett Learnmonth, Peter James Ledwith, Desiree Clary, Blumfleur 9999999, your white knight. Oh, I need a white knight. Father Christopher Miller, everybody watch your language. Everybody watch your language. Soulless, you have a soul with me. Leaf Eric, Christopher P. Dobbin Mogg, JBD, According to Christie, is here with her wrench, and so is Matthew Matson, Count Falconer, Darkstar 76, Jamie Patterson, Mob Trap, Eskimonofono, Mr. Left Turn, Alex Hawker, and Rulon Holm, Andy Morley, and now it's 10 Mint. Okay. What are we going to talk about today? So, I've been live streaming a lot. I was on a fun live stream last night with Geeks and Gamers, and that was kind of a nice chill stream, but they were talking, the stream started with Robert Storms, who, quite frankly, I think got picked on by Hollywood. I'm not here to discuss his take on Parasite, because I didn't see Parasite, and I'll probably watch Parasite when it's on a streaming service, and I'm sure it was worthy of Best Picture, and I will say the director's acceptance speech was brilliant, and if we got more of that, I think the Oscars ratings would be higher and people would be less annoyed by Hollywood. But everything leading up to that was completely annoying by all accounts. But I have it in the title. We're going to talk about it a little later. We're going to talk about fanboys and normies, because obviously, genre superhero films and sci-fi and fantasy have been popular for so long now. They've become really entrenched in the mainstream, and the mainstream still doesn't understand fandom. I think the dynamics of jock versus nerd are still in place. I just think a lot of, as Red Letter Media correctly pointed out, I think a lot of jocks are working in genre right now, quite frankly. And a lot of it's in the access media. A lot of people think they're geeks, but they fall on the other side. And to understand his rant, I mean, he said it over and over again, and you don't have to like the take. I'm not asking you to like the take. I could care less. As I told Jeremy in my live stream, I heard crap like that in my comic store 5 times a day. 5 times a day. That's fandom. And it's like rooting for your sports ball team. It's no other thing. Now, I got to go look because I don't know. I only heard this, that Don Cheadle tweeted it out and got them all. That's the thing that got it rolling and got like 3.3 million views on Twitter. Also, I pointed out, sorry for repeated information, but if you weren't up super late last night, you didn't hear this. It proves that there's no connection or little to no connection between the platform of Twitter and the platform of YouTube. Obviously, they're 2 different things. They get conflated a lot, but you can have a video that gets 3.3 million views on Twitter and it gets 100, or I don't know where it's standing now, but at the time last night, it was at 132,000 views on YouTube. Now, Robert pulled the video down, shouldn't have done that. And our good friend Ryan at RK Outpost talked him into putting it back up. And yeah, there is no connection between the 2. That's why I only spend 1 hour a day on Twitter. Now, I spent my hour yesterday reading a couple of Star Trek trolls, just watching the whole thing go down, and that was interesting. It was funny. I didn't respond to anybody because I don't. It's the Star Trek troll that a couple of our friends were dealing with. I think Jack Beers is clearly somebody who used to watch Doomcock and myself and Midnight's Edge and feels like a jilted lover or something. I'm not too sure. Way too familiar with all of our work to be that much of a hater. I mean, if you hate something, you don't watch it unless you're reviewing it, and that's how I feel about it. Now, we're also going to talk about Doctor Who's ratings. I was watching the Quarterings video today. It was a great video, and I love that he's using TV series finale. That website has been used quite a bit of late, and while I can't prove this, I need to give Susan Layton from 1428elm.com the credit, because I've been using it for a couple years now. Thanks to her. She's the one who turned me on to that website. It's a little known website. It just collates the Nielsen ratings. It's nice seeing that website used. The problem is with that website, it's only the overnight ratings. So you have to double everything you see there because it doesn't count 7-day out DVR. So a lot of people are not mentioning that, but you got to mention that's only overnight ratings. It's not the 7-day DVR streaming, which you can't really believe because iTunes isn't going to share their information. Netflix, all those places won't share their information. But so it says, for example, we can go there right now. Doctor Who's American ratings. It's a good indicator, though. It's a great indicator of things going down the tubes. And believe me, Doctor Who ratings here in the States are in the crapper. 400,000 people watched the last episode. So you double it, 800,000 people with the streaming. That's nothing. That's nothing. They try to spin that's good, but it's not. Not for a storied franchise. Yeah, 405,000. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's take a look. Let's get over here. And there we go. So, that demo, that 18 to 49 demo, you got to take a look at too. Yeah, we're kind of doing this every week now. And this is exactly what Bolstrek had been. Bolstrek was saying it before I was. He was saying it a couple years publicly before I was. A lot of my Doctor Who screeching was to my wife and kids before I finally watched season 11 and lost my mind. And others have been pointing this out as well. So the 1849 demo, which is, you know, it was okay in the first episode, has cratered 23.8% loss. So we're at 405,000 people watching this overnight. Again, double it. It's not even at 1 million anymore. And it's just going to go down from here. We did get what was a slight bump from the Captain Jack appearance, but that he is not coming back. So that little Captain Jack bump, which, to be honest with you, if they had done this Captain Jack bump in the Matt Smith era, those would have been some of the best ratings Doctor Who had ever seen. If they actually made him part of the story, it was clear that after John Barrowman had been asking to come back to this show for a decade, they finally said yes, and just to use him for a ratings bump. And, you know, John Barrowman's a fan. He's a good team player, so I don't hold anything against the guy. He's freaking hilarious, and I love him. Met him at Comic-Con briefly. Yeah, so things are not looking so good. I will also go check out the ratings accumulator. Let's see. I don't know if the consolidated ratings came in from last week, but let's take a look. Get to you guys in just a second. Later. Boo, boo, boo. There we go. Hope everybody's having a very good hump day. If anybody's at work, don't get in trouble. But hopefully I can help you pass the day. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So we got the previous episode, but we don't have last week's episode, which takes 7 days. So it won't be until next Monday. We have 3.81 million views for the last episode. This next episode is going to go below that, in my opinion. The previous episode, which, God, I'm even forgetting. So by the way, we're also going to talk about the controversy going on with the people who still like this show. The whole conversation between Graham and the Doctor at the end, where the Doctor blew him off when he wanted to open up to her about his cancer, which was just, I know so many people are upset, but I thought it was right in line with the show. Graham's a white male. Pfft, screw that dude. So the previous episode, which for some reason I can't remember the name right now, it doesn't matter. 3.97 million views, and it got a bump of a little over 1 million with the iPlayer ratings. And again, if you watched my rumor video, I pointed out that the iPlayer considers watching the episode for 2 minutes as a view. So somebody could have just dipped in and dipped out, and they count that. So if you want to use YouTube analytics and double it, we'll be nice and we'll double it. We'll say only 30% of that iPlayer number are people who watch the episode all the way through. So if it's 1 million, it's really 300,000. But whatever. If they want to count it, go right ahead. They also add numbers a month out, which is some crazy BS. I don't know how many times we got to say this. I think this is a lot of holdover, to be honest with you. I think these are the things that couldn't be changed last minute. Now, let me discount Doctor Who from this. Doctor Who will not change. I think Warner Brothers and DC will change their ways. I think they will learn from Birds of Prey. I think we're clearly seeing Disney learn. It's not going to be perfect, folks. Don't expect perfection here, but, whether you love or hate The Mandalorian, again, it is, that is Disney turning the page. There's no doubt about that. So now, whether it's a bait and switch and they just did it for a season and then they're going to get full of themselves and start injecting it full of identity politics in the second season, that could always happen. That could always happen. BBC is not going to change their ways. They'd rather, they see it as a cause. Doctor Who is a cause. So, yeah, it's not looking good. And they will not learn. So if we go over to here. And we've got the controversy. BBC responds to Doctor Who fans upset by the awkward Doctor and Graham conversation. Some fans weren't too happy when Jodie Whittaker's Time Lord seemed to brush off her companion's cancer worries. Now, I know most of you did not watch the show. Good for you. You saved yourself an hour. Graham is a character who is kind of the fatherly figure on the TARDIS. He's the white male that this season they've made kind of look like a buffoon. He was the standout of last season, the one good thing. He's still a good actor. Bradley Walsh is a good actor. He's recovering from cancer. That's how he met his wife, who is now deceased because his wife died due to the actions of a dumb white male in the first episode of Series 11. And he is now traveling with the Doctor. So he wanted to confide in the Doctor because this whole episode was about mental health. And they didn't really do a good job setting up what everybody is suffering from. Basically, everybody has some form of depression or PTSD or something they're sad about. And the whole theme of the episode was, it's good to talk about things and seek out help when you're sad. I know it's very groundbreaking storytelling coming from Doctor Who, and damn, if I didn't want to talk to somebody about what made me sad. And I wanted to talk to the BBC about how this show makes me very sad, and they didn't want to listen, apparently. The irony. So, Bradley Walsh's character, Graham, if we're all up to speed, had cancer, doesn't have it anymore, but after this enlightening episode of going into mental health issues, where they went back to 1300 Aleppo, Syria, to talk about how groundbreaking this Islam was with its healthcare in the 1300s. They didn't give any examples of it. They just said there was a hospital there. And it might have been, I don't know, because they gave no examples of it whatsoever. And that's how superficial this show is. And this is what happens when you didn't even have a soap opera writer on this one. If you had a soap opera writer on this one, they would have been able to pull off this dramatic scene at the end. But instead, you had a after-school special writer on this one, and they just did this. So Graham's character opens up to the Doctor about being scared about cancer, and the Doctor basically blows him off at the end. It's terrible. Recent Doctor Who episode, Can You Hear Me?, was praised by fans for its depiction of... Oh, man, I don't want my phone chirping at me. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, folks. I'm going to turn it off. There we go. All right. Recent Doctor Who episode, Can You Hear Me?, was praised by fans for its depiction of mental health, with Jodie Whittaker and her TARDIS team facing off with the nightmare-themed monsters as more was revealed about the past internal struggles of Yaz and Mandeep Gill and other characters. However, a scene later in the episode had viewers more divided when, we are down into decimals now. It has been divided. The divided fan base has become divided, which has become divided, which is now, it's divided to nothing. However, a scene later in the episode had viewers more divided when the Doctor, the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, found herself unable to respond to her friend Graham's, Bradley Walsh, worries about his cancer returning, informing him she was too socially awkward to offer words of comfort, but might try again later. In other words, the writers couldn't think of anything to say, and they're like, we'll say she's socially awkward. Okay, high five, Chibs. Some fans felt the scene was... While some fans felt the scene was in character for the sometimes awkward alien Doctor, others were less impressed, suggesting that the scene jarred with the message of this episode and this particular Doctor's past behavior, even coming across as unkind or insensitive. Insensitive. The Doctor is so insensitive. Some even contacted the BBC about the interaction. And now an official has arrived from the BBC complaints department following the contentious scene. I think the BBC was just happy people were talking about the episode. We got to piss off more people. But actually, that's all you've been doing. It's clear that they're willing to listen to some of their fans, but not to the vast majority. But that's okay. I talked about that in my last video. Thank you Thank you for contacting us about Doctor Who. Can you hear me? With your feedback, that it was insensitive for the Doctor to dismiss Graham's cancer concerns. The BBC complaints response, which radiotimes.com has independently verified, said, we never set out to upset our viewers. Oh, not the ones we like. I mean, screw all the other viewers we've been upsetting. We never meant to upset our 20%, the 20% of viewers that we want to play to right now. With what we show, and this episode tackled some sensitive themes. The episode used dreams and nightmares to explore inner lives of the companions. Thanks to Zellen's nightmare powers, Ryan and Yaz and Graham were forced to confront their worst fears, many of which relate to the way traveling with the Doctor has changed their lives. I didn't get that at all, because these are paper-thin characters in a superficial show. God, man, they used to be able to develop a companion so quickly. Oh, man, I blame Clara. I do. When Graham opened up to the Doctor about his fear of his cancer returning, her response was never meant to be dismissive. But it was, though. I mean, it was, whether you meant to or not. See, the thing is, a talented writer can convey to the audience what he or she means. And a crap hack writer can't. The Doctor's friend was scared, and we see her struggling to deal with the severity of the situation. The intention of the scene was to acknowledge how hard it can be to deal with conversations on this subject matter. When faced with these situations, people don't always have the right words to say at the right time. And I understand that, but this was the end of the episode. And this can often lead to feelings of guilt by showing the Doctor struggling to find the right words. So when somebody is sad and they confide into somebody else about being sad, that can make other people sad because they can't help the sad person stop being sad. Oh my God, it's just a vicious circle. We should all just self-delete. The intention was to sympathize with all those who may have found themselves in a simpler position. BBC, when you have to come out and explain yourself afterwards, you have failed. The Fall of Skywalker is a great example of this. Maybe Doctor Who can make a comic explaining it. The message concluded, we hope that this helped to address your concerns, but please be assured feedback has been raised with the program's executive producer. In other words, that writer will not be asked back. That's such a shit show. Oh my God. And that's not it, folks. It's just been one thing after another. Of course, that's the thing that pisses off the Doctor Who fans who are left, not the horrible... I mean, that's been very consistent with the writing throughout Chris Chibnall's run. It's been historic. It's been historic. Oh, my Lord. Okay. And you know what? Listen, and, my pops died of cancer. Fuck cancer. And that's a pretty serious thing. I mean, they probably should have had, I'm not trying to give them advice here, but used Ryan or Yaz's situation, not Graham's. But there's your agenda right there. Every single little thing they frickin' do, I can sniff through their motivations now. Why did they do it with Graham? Why did they do it with the older white male? I know the answer. It's a rhetorical question. They did it to make a point because it's usually the white men who are doing the blowing off and stuff like that. Yeah. So you could, I mean, it's so obvious now. They think they're so clever, but they're not. Doctor Who, the dumbassery of Doctor Who is epic at this point. It's like fucking impressive. I really am. I'm like, God damn, I didn't think this show could get any fucking dumber, and it gets dumber. And I am sorry, but I generally think the United Kingdom is a smarter nation than the United States. I do. You guys, your schooling's it's a little better. Yeah, and, smaller country, it's easier. You know, it's tough. It's tough to compare those two countries because we're bigger. So we take, resources, all that crap, and I'm not going to get into it. But generally, I think the UK is a little more literate than over here in the States. And, I realize that I bring the average down myself. So, I'm not, I'm pointing that finger back at me. What is a Scandinavian? Well, PHB81, apparently a Scandinavian is nothing. I saw that video. What the frack was that? I don't know if I can show the video or not, but there's a video out there that the Quartering shared. I saw it on his Twitter, and it's like, what is a Scandinavian? Basically, the point of the video was Scandinavians are nothing. We basically stole all our stuff from everything else, stole all our things from everyone else, and made it our own culture. Well, you know what? They didn't go far back enough. They kept on saying like, well, Swedish meatballs are actually Turkish. Well, I mean, how do we know they're Turkish? How do we know the Turkish was a Turkish empire? So what province did they steal their meatballs from? I mean, basically everything belongs to the cavemen, okay, and women. My God. It seems like there's this line in history that these revisionists won't go past. Like, you've appropriated this and that, but only up until about 1,000 years ago. Then we're not going to talk about anything, or 2,000 years ago. It's like, I mean, like, let's just go all the way back. If we want to go down that road, you can't just stop it here. Like, here's the line of demarcation for appropriation. It's like, shut the hell up. Yeah, what is Scandinavian? That was dumb. Somebody from Scandinavia. That's what I kind of figured. Globalist propaganda. Yep. Okay, so, and that's what Doctor Who is. Way to segue back to Doctor Who. It is just, it can't get away from the agenda. And at least American companies eventually will see the error of their ways. They will either crash and burn and destroy what they have, or they'll go, oh crap, I want to keep making money. We got away with this as long as we could. We really pushed it as far out, but we really got to dial things back now. And Disney dialed things back. And look at the abuse they got. Hey, listen, I was part of it. The Fall of Skywalker was not fan service. It was BS, but the freaking Access Media really tried to spin it that way. And I think they were successful in some aspects of it. I tried to fight it whenever I could. And I hope you guys know that I don't know if I have, my focus on this channel is television and the Access Media. I go after Jar Jar and Rhiann and Kathleen Kennedy once in a while, especially Jar Jar. But I mainly go after the Access Media. That's my beef. Because I'm just trying to help out and provide some balance, because there is none right now. There is none. And I've got my bias too, of course, but there's just, we're hearing the same thing from the Access Media for years and years and years. And even before I started my channel, I was going to CBR every day and Bleeding Cool, and these are sites I used to like. But man, they've changed. They've changed, and they used to be different too. You used to be able to differentiate the freaking IGN from the CBRs and comicbook.com, and now it's just, man, copy and paste, Screen Rant, all that crap. For one, there's too many sites. And, like, hashtag not all. There's some people out there who are trying to do some good. There's some Forbes articles that I've read that were actually pretty good. They weren't from Scott Mendelson, but you hear the other side once in a while, but not often. Man, I had to dig. I have a video out there on, it's the one with the thumbnail that says hashtag me too, but the two O's from the 2 are 007, and it's about the first female 007. And I found an article from the UK, believe it or not, taking the other side, a woman taking the other side of the James Bond female debate. It was a freaking great article, and I shared it with everybody I could. You don't find that often. I do look for them. My God, there's a lot to go over today. Please, next Doctor Who vid, you have to say Karen Strongwoman, formerly known as the first Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker. LOL. That's right, Karen. The Doctor does constantly look like she wants to take us all to the manager. Nettled Nerds for $5. I'm not going to argue with that. Thank you. Felipe Abrigo for 25 Chilean pounds. Hello, Cleric Beekler. Did you catch the shooting star in space in Picard and Picard around the 24:30? You'll love it. LOL. I can find it. Let's see if I can screenshot that. I don't know if I have CBS All Access on this one, but I will. We'll try. I'm not surprised. It was a Shaban written episode. Let's see if I can find it before the end of the show. There was a Bird of Prey 5 video. Please check out Bird of Prey 5. He's a friend of mine, supporter of the channel. Did a great video in the middle of the night. Don't drop these videos in the middle of the night, Bird of Prey 5. Do them in the morning. Have it wait. It's a good video. I might do a video on it and refer to his video, but I'm definitely going to talk about it here. Michael Shaban went on Instagram and answered some fan questions about Picard. And I think it's very enlightening of where there's a lot of people right now defending Star Trek Picard on this basis. And they're not wrong. Okay, they're not wrong yet. They're like, it's too early to tell. We're only 3 episodes in. Don't judge the series too harshly. I'm trying to judge it episode by episode. Unfortunately, I listened to the interviews of the actors and the creatives and the people involved in the show, and they told me what to expect, and I didn't like what I heard. So I talked about not liking what I heard from the people making the show telling me what to expect. Which is a giant allegory for Brexit and Orange Man. Now, we can see the pieces being set up, but they haven't fully gone into that yet. But they will. Episode by episode, the biggest problem I have with Picard is the dialogue, and the basic story is dumb, and there's a bunch of just straight up ripped off ideas over and over again. Right down to having a Romulegalos look like Elrond. From Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, a friend of mine tried to defend that, and in the worst possible way. I'm going to have to call him out on it a little bit. I still love him unconditionally, but he is just dead wrong on this one. Bird of Prey 5 did a great video on what Michael Shaban answered, and we will go over that because it gives you a look inside the production of Kurtzman Trek, and you'll see how they explain sunglasses and earbuds and stuff like that. And it's what you're hearing from the defenders is they'll always find something in older Star Trek that points back to, this is precedence. They've done this before. But you'll notice a commonality. Generally, it's all the worst ideas, like stepsister. Having a secret step or foster sister or stepsister, whatever Michael Burnham is. Inspiration for Spock. Well, we had Sybok. Well, that was a shitty idea. What? I mean, I know it set the precedent, and the reason I didn't talk about it anymore because it was a shitty idea. But let's say, Spock smiling in the cage. Well, it's before he knew the character, before he was familiar with it. Plus, it was in a pilot that technically didn't air, except for the menagerie. And then they made it, I think Roddenberry made it canon in the 80s, 86, I believe. They aired it or released it. That was a long time ago. I was doing a lot of drugs in 86. So, yeah. But they're taking all the worst ideas. I mean, it's just like, and by the way, with me anyway, I'm not a canon fundamentalist with Star Trek. I'm not. I understand them playing with some stuff. I just don't like the JJ aesthetic. I wish they would completely change the aesthetic. I understand why they can't. They've got so much, they've got money, and they're probably repurposing a bunch of Discovery sets, or maybe not because they're in LA. But they're trying to save some money here and there, so they're using some of the same effects people who use that aesthetic. I get it. I just wish they would get rid of it. I'm okay. If they want to keep this cast, fine. Bring in new writers, new executive producers. Maybe you can save the show. And maybe that's what's going to happen. De-Kurtzmanize it completely, and then we can talk. Until then, I know what to expect, and I know I'm going to get. I won't be surprised. I will be surprised if it's good. If it is, I'll tell you. But But there seems to be a lot of insinuation from others that, and I don't know if they're talking about me. They might not be talking about me. That's fine. But don't get into my head. I genuinely don't like it. So when people say, God, whatever they say, you're just hating on the show. No, I want to like Star Trek. I'm just being honest about it. Chris Sullivan for £5. Thank you for the £5, Chris. But no statement there. I'm sorry. You can say something in the chat. Just hit @Nerdrotic. I'll answer any question you got. Good or bad. It's okay. Alan Terrell, thank you for the $5 and the laughs there. The laughs. Let me see if I can find that article. It was on Trek Core. That's right, Trek Core. And again, Bird of Prey 5, when I upload this live stream to Nerdrotic Live, I will link Bird of Prey 5's video in the description. It's spelled Bird O Prey 5. It's all one word. He's, again, a supporter of the channel. He, unfortunately, due to health problems, he's in a bed all the time. He can't leave his bed. And instead of pissing and moaning and whining like a lot of people from certain side we won't name right now would do, he makes the best of it. He live streams. He makes videos. He's an inspiration. He's a great guy. So go check out his channel. Trek Core Shaban answers. Hopefully. Oh my God, my typing sucks. Oh, all right. It's from 3 days ago. Oh, by the way, this is Michael Shaban, who is no longer with the show. He jumped on about 3 or 4 episodes in, 3 months into the production, and bailed before it aired. But then they spin it with, well, he wanted to go do his Cavalier and Clay, his Pulitzer Prize winning book that he's been quite honestly writing a lot of success off of. I guess the Yiddish Policeman, whatever, is pretty good too. I met him at Line at Comic-Con, and he was pretty cool. He was pretty cool. He's very Berkeley. He had his Birkenstocks on, and I was just like, I have a strong aversion to those. They look like they smell bad. All right, so let's go here. I'm not a Berkeley fan. Berkeley, the town that they're taking all the, I don't know how to, I'm a big dummy. So anything with male in it, like manhole cover, they're taking all the patriarchal verbiage out of everything that's in the city government, and go look it up. It's a real story that Berkeley has a lot of affluent white hippies, and it is everything you think it is. I mean, they all make, average $200,000 a year. They look like they make, they don't spend their money on their clothing or bathing or anything like that, but they make coin there. They definitely make some cheddar over there in Berkeley. Why is that doing that? Sorry about that. Boom. There we go. It'll just be off to the right there. Sorry. All right. Showrunner Michael Shaban answers the internet's burning Star Trek Picard fan questions. The team building today's Star Trek content reads the internet a lot. Wait a minute. I thought Alex Kurtzman did not listen to his critics. Each week brings a host of episodic reviews from top industry critics and fans alike, dozens of new discussions, topics on Reddit and other websites, and of course a waterfall of feedback across social media platforms offering praise and criticism from multiple angles. Several elements from the first 3 episodes of Star Trek Picard have spawned questions in fan continuums, such as why was Commander O a Vulcan? Why does she need to wear sunglasses? Why are there people swearing in Star Trek, leading to passionate and sometimes disparaging discussions about the show to date? Picard former showrunner Michael Shaban has seen it all and took to Instagram today to address several of those sometimes controversial questions head on. I believe Michael Chabon still lives up here. He's probably 12 short miles across a large body of water from me. Due east. My house faces east-west. No, questions and answers below are from Chabon's Instagram post and not an interview. All right. So, you're going to hear the reason why she's wearing sunglasses. This could be bullshit, and the whole mirror universe could be a thing. I know that's been brought up. And again, I will warn fans out there, you are smarter than the writers of this show. You will come up with better ideas that they will come up with next season because you came up with them, but it won't be this season. I'm sorry to say. I think the mirror universe would even be too much for Kurtzman, there is no idea he has ever said no to, even if it's not his own, which are most of them. What's the deal with Commander O's sunglasses? And for one, how come nobody asked why are all the Vulcans pensive assholes in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe? That's an emotion, okay? Fuck. Everyone knows Vulcans have evolved an inner eyelid to protect them from the intense glare of their homeworld's three suns. I'm going to argue not everyone knows that, okay? Star Trek, Trekkies and Trekkers know that. Hardcore Star Trek fans know it. Normies, casuals don't fucking know that. So don't say everyone knows. Shabam, what, therefore, might we logically infer? Is Raffi vape? That's his response, by the way, to the sunglasses. What, therefore, might we logically infer? So it might be the mirror universe. If they freaking bring in the mirror universe along with the Borg, along with the synths attacking, why not have the Klingons rebel, bring them in too, get the Dominion back, let's throw them in. Let's just put everything in. Fuck it. Let's get Kirk out of the Nexus. He can come in riding a horse after making some eggs for the girlfriend we never saw. Is Raffi vaping? Please tell me Raffi is not vaping. Again, Chabon's answer to the sunglasses was, what, therefore, might we logically infer? Yeah, it's got to be the mirror universe then. Here's the biggest problem with that. Emperor Georgiou is from the mirror universe. She walks around all day long in Star Trek Discovery Season 2 without as much as a squint. So, I don't know. Raffi is using traditional Orion flash pipe known as a hargle. It's a hargle. Employed for centuries on the world to sublimate the fleshy tendrils of the intoxicant plant known as horks or snake leaf. Okay, but sunglasses and horgles and like Girardi using earbuds, even if people still use those things in $23.99, why don't they all seem more futuristic? Okay, for one, Raffi is growing that plant on Earth. Berta Prey pointed out that wisely that we regulate plants going from country to country, continent to continent, because they can become invasive species. It hasn't been invasive, but in Southern California and here in California, we have the eucalyptus tree. They are fucking everywhere now because they were imported to here, because at the time I don't know if that's right or not. That's something my mom told me when I was young, that they thought they would make, I don't know. I don't know if that's right now, but they got imported to California and now they're freaking everywhere. So this plant, how do we know? So does it make humans high the same way it makes Orions? They try to play off like they talk about this, and you're assuming, I think there's a lot of assumptions that Chabon hasn't retroactively gotten answers. In other words, when they came up with this stuff at the time, They didn't compare it to anything. I'm not saying they did. I'm guessing they did. They just don't give a shit. They wanted to show somebody vaping. That's the real reason she's doing that right now. They had to give her something, and they couldn't make everybody have a bad dad or have a bad patriarchal figure, although she does with Picard. So we have to, it's substance abuse. It's a go-to to try to make your character look quote unquote flawed. But, there's only so many ways you can make a female character in current Hollywood look flawed. So what is a flaw to a female character in current Kurtzman Star Trek Hollywood? A man being victimized by a man. So her drug abuse is Picard's fault. Everything's Picard's fault. Picard got her fired because he didn't see her brilliance. The Federation didn't see her brilliance. She was the only one who knew about the conspiracy of the Romulans, and everybody shoved her aside because she was a woman. So it's everybody else's fault that she's on freaking snake leaf or whatever it is. And how the hell would she get high? Again, physiology, how could you grow it on Earth? I don't know. But that shit honestly doesn't bother me. It doesn't. What bothers me is they're trying to explain away what the real reason was they wanted to show somebody vaping because these morons think it's like cool or something. I mean, Kurtzman is like your 60-year-old dad trying to this is very 80s reference, sorry, but your 60-year-old dad trying to sit down and talk to you about music or something. It's like fucking just terrible. He's such a poser. I'm sure he's great for CSIs, and you know what? He'll probably make a procedural Clarice show that'll trigger Anna, but that Star Wars girl, but make the normies just lap it up, But they just want to fucking vape in there. That's it. I don't care what we're going to, Orion. They probably thought of the vape first, and they were able to, Star Trek. See, there's a long history of Star Trek, obviously, and you can find something to back up your argument. There's that much of it. The problem is they only look up that stuff to back up their stupid decisions, and not instead of learning it and trying to capture the spirit of it. It doesn't have to be literal. We don't have to see sets that were from the 60s. We just need that spirit of it. But they're not going to show that. I know there's a lot of deniers out there, but they straight up said Starfleet has lost its way. This is going to be a dystopian Starfleet. And I argue we've already seen it. We've already seen it. Some people are going, no, Starfleet made a really good decision. And it's a logical decision. It's a fucked up one. But the hubris. We'll see. One guiding principle is that some fundamental objects and tools evolve in ideal form: efficient, economical, comfortable, durable, practical, useful, and afterward they change very little, except as subject of fashion, where it itself is often retrospective. So people are asking why some of the devices like sunglasses, earbuds, and the vape don't look futuristic. And Bird of Prey 5 went over this in this video, and I'm gonna use his analogy, which is a wine bottle. A wine bottle generally hasn't changed over time, but it has in little subtle ways, but it hasn't. A book looks like a book. A wine bottle looks like a wine bottle. But as Bird of Prey points out, earbuds. So she's got earbuds. There's earbuds that look like my Galaxy earbuds. That shit would be nano. These guys they either don't have the money for this stuff, they don't care. I think they mostly don't care. They don't want hardcore Star Trek fans, even though some are defending the show. They want normies. It's clear, because a lot of normies are liking it. But normies like CSI. Normies like the good fight, and listen, if you like that stuff, that's great. I'm not judging. That's just like, I'm into. I have no time for dramas. If I want drama, I'll remember something from my life. I want to see something in entertainment that I can't see in everyday life, like wizards and freaking spaceships. But what we've had with Star Trek Picard is stupid fights and sitting around tables, and Picard being an assistant. Then, of course, we have the smoking. Bird of Prey 5 goes over that. Honestly, I'm not going to get hung up on this one, okay? I know people are against it, and I could see one guy being a rebel in 300 years. smoking a cigar. Don't really fucking care. But it's compounded with everything else, though. The cussing, I have a problem with. And he goes into that. Okay, so smoking, vaping, snakeweed, alcohol abuse, swear words, the Admiral lady used the F word, Shaban, what the fuck? Listen, no human society will ever be perfect because no human will ever be perfect. The most we can do, and as Star Trek ever reminds us, must do, is to aspire to perfection and work to make it so. Norcon Forden perfunctionin. He's literate. I'm not. As a wise Yang once said. Okay. Progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. I understand that, but we showed progress in Star Trek, Michael Chabon, former showrunner of Star Trek, and Star Trek needs to inspire. Inspire. Is Star Trek Picard inspiring? Now, I know the argument will be, we're going to break Picard down. We're going to break him down to size. And then we're at the end, he's going to see the error of his ways. And he'll do the right thing and sacrifice himself and die. See, the not so subtle symbolism and messaging of that, just like we got with Logan, just like we're getting with so many things right now, freaking Fall of Skywalker. This is Jake Luke Picard. It's Jake Luke Picard. He's going through the same thing. They're going to spin it that at the end, he did the right thing by helping somebody else instead of focusing on our hero, who is a guest star in his own show in some scenes. And rightly so. He's freaking almost 80. The most important thing about this show was going to be its cast. And that's why this thing it fails for me. Because honestly, I don't give a shit about just Picard. I don't. It was the group dynamic with that show that worked for so many people for so long. And you just have the worst person possible working on it. This could have worked. With the right people, this absolutely could have worked and been very entertaining. And it could have healed the fandom. It absolutely could have healed the fandom. But fucking stupid CBS, man. They just won't learn. So until that impossible day, shit is going to continue to happen. And when it does, humans are going to want to swear. The absence of swear words in Star Trek was never a matter of Federation principle. It was a matter of FCC rules. What about the movies, Shaban? And yes, Data said, yes, there was cussing in the movies, but it was brief and it was done for comedic effect. The cussing here is because we're edgy and we're Game of Thrones. Writers of previous eras had no choice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that FCC argument doesn't. And then, of course, they talk about the JL. She calls him JL in the comic, which I believe about 4,000 people read in the entire country. So, oh my God. And how she's more familiar with Picard than essentially Riker was. How can Raffi get away with referring to Jean-Luc Picard as JL, the Picard we knew would never have allowed a subordinate to take a liberty like that? True, but this is not the Picard we knew. Berta Prey points out, correctly so, that in this comic, which he read and I did not, Picard was still a member of Starfleet. This was only a few years after Nemesis, and she was calling him JL. So that was indeed the Picard we knew. No, this might be the Picard Shaban thinks he knows. But, again, it's all this stuff compounded. If it was one of these things by itself, would not care. But we'll see. We'll see. I heard the same damn thing for Star Trek Discovery. It took people started turning on the show around, it was between episode 4 and episode 7, where you saw sentiment shift. It usually takes a minute. Went through the same thing with Doctor Who. After the 4th episode, it took a turn for the worse, and that's when people started, that's when the ratings started going down. That's when everything turned. I've covered a lot of TV on this channel. The pattern remains the same. We're only 3 episodes in. I will be live right after the episode on Wednesday because hopefully I get my taxes done in time and I can and I will attend Gallifrey 1 this weekend. Gallifrey 1. Don't know if I'm gonna make it Friday, but I'll be there for Saturday for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't literally need it to be 90s Star Trek. I don't. I just need it to be entertaining and not mean. And the thing is, that's Kurtzman's biggest flaw. And anything that, I mean, it reeks of Kurtzman. And Kurtzman can't write likable characters. He's incapable of it. And I think you genuinely have to be a charming person to be able to write likable characters. You don't have to be a likable person. But people who, I mean, charming people can be pains in the ass. There's tons of pains in the ass in Hollywood. But sometimes you can write outside yourself. Kurtzman can't. I don't think he can. And creatively, I don't like to use that word related to him. Repurposefully, he fails at every turn. But people want to like the show, and that's great. And again, if you like it, I got no problem with you. It's fine. And when we get into the normie talk, we'll discuss, the biggest differences and what Hollywood in general doesn't understand. I think that Robert Storm's thing was a great example of normies and fanboys. And you saw the normies just pile on. Philip DeFranco, normie. Like normie and his stupid thumbnails. I'm sorry, I don't like, I'm not a fan of his thumbnails. That freaking, it's a little cringy. Let's get to you guys. Let's get to you guys. Uh-oh. I didn't want to do that. That was the wrong thing to do. Where we go? There we are. Okay. Oh, take your time, Internet. It's all right. I got all day. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Self-produced show. Now, I don't watch... I've seen a couple of Philip DeFranco videos, and like he's got 1 million viewers, or millions of subscribers, and he's got like a business or whatever. He does jump cuts, and I do too, but I try to hide them. But I just don't like, I'm not a fan. I know other people within the Fandom Menace do it, and this is no reflection. I could never, ever, unless it's a joke, put my face on a thumbnail. There's something about that I'll draw the line there. Yes, I'm on YouTube. I mean, come on. We're all attention-seeking whores. But I draw the line at thumbnails, I guess. Trek Dog for £21.99. Hail Gary, have you watched Doomcock's video about Kurtzman punching a hole in a TV? I will never understand why these people surround themselves with yes men instead of consulting people like you, Doomcock, DC, and the Critical Drinker to challenge their ideas. Well, that's Hollywood. I mean, yeah, I know what you would think if you want to actually be better and make more money and be more successful and be respected in Hollywood, a little humility would help. Here's the problem. It's the culture. And this is why Hollywood's heroes are losing. And we're going to talk about that as well. But it's the culture in Hollywood. It's so freaking just duplicitous and manipulative and just filled with backstabbers. And people, if you could walk around and get the mental image of like knives in people's backs walking around there all the time, that's what it would be. That's what it would be. So you can't show any humility because that is considered a weakness in Hollywood when it's not. It's a fucking strength. Being able to once in a while say I'm wrong, be open to somebody's ideas. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but it's a sign of weakness when you can't say you're sorry, say you're wrong, share the love, it's insecurity basically. If you're so worried, I mean, they're so worried about their jobs all the time and just it's a power game. It's a power game. So showing any kind of humility or empathy. That's why Alex Kurtzman really used that word a lot in Star Trek Discovery Season 2, because I think he went to therapy and learned it. And empathy is not something that's been that they talk about it in award shows a lot, but as soon as they get off the stage, they are talking shit about each other and even their best friends to try to, gain power. That's it. When you could achieve more power with respect. How do you get respect? By showing respect to your audience, being open to ideas. You can still be confident and open to ideas. It is possible. It's not black and white. One thing I do a lot, I've been asked this by people. That's why I'm going to bring it up now, is anytime I see something, I watch a lot of YouTube. So if I feel like I get a take that's even close to somebody else's, I make sure to give them credit. I'm not going to necessarily say I get the takes from them all the time, because I don't. I come up with my own. But if I saw something I thought was a really good take, I'll repeat it here, give them credit, because they deserve it. That's why I brought up Susan Layton with the TV series finale, because I'm convinced she's the one because she showed it to me and I spread it around. Now it's being spread around. That's great. That's no problem. But, she was the one. She was the one. And that's cool. And it's okay. It's okay to give people credit. It's fine. You don't have to be all insecure about shit. Like I said, and I think that's the problem, is they are just stuck up their own ass and they can't ask for help. Kurtzman, I don't think anything could help him. Honestly, they need to make a change. I don't want Kurtzman to be without work. Okay. Go work on Clarice. Sorry, Anna, but go work on Clarice. Go work on Hawaii Five-0. Make millions of dollars over there. Just go away from Trek. Shaban, like Bird of Prey 5 said, I am with Bird of Prey on this. I wish him all the best off of Trek. Go somewhere else and have a very successful career away from Trek. Can we please get somebody who knows Trek? I think it's too late, though. I think it's too late. We are going on 5 years in, and they want to launch a Marvel Cinematic Universe of Star Trek, and they're doing it with a 79-year-old lead. Do you think that's going to work? I've read everything about Kurtzman possibly getting fired, and I don't know. I'm not even going down that road anymore. If he gets fired, he's been removed from a lot of projects. I know that. But his contract is still in place. He signed a 5-year contract that was in 2018. So, unless they want to eat a lot of money, I think they're going to stick with him. Now, can they de-Kurtzman stuff? I think they're doing that. I think they've done that. But he still has influence. So that's that. And, when he gets fired, I will make a video when he officially gets fired, and I will be happy. But then I won't, because Star Trek will have been ruined. And everybody loses. Everybody loses, which sucks. I think they still have time to change. Like I said in my Doctor Who video, they just won't do it. They won't pull the plug. And I understand it's hard to pull the plug on this stuff, and you can't all the time. And we're probably going to see the fruits of our labors in a couple of years. We're going to see stuff turn around, get somewhat neutral. Don't expect it to go away. Hollywood's always been woke, a little bit progressive, and that's fine. I understand that. I don't care what the politics are of the creative. I really don't. It's certain things I'm talking about too. Like, you can be political all you want in a political thriller. Great. But Star Trek should be for everybody. It should be family oriented, and it's not. It's clearly not. No kids are going to watch this shit. This stuff is made for 50-year-olds. About Kurtzman punching a TV. That would hurt wouldn't that break his hand? If you punched a TV, that would bloody your hand. So I think what we should look for is Kurtzman right-handed or left-handed. I think we should look for any cuts, any abrasions, anytime he was wearing a bandage, because if you punched a TV, that would cut your hand, period. As far as him being frustrated, listen, I've heard that Trek Dog from others who work there. I've heard that It was kind of a blanket statement, and it was a we get under their skin, which I imagine we do. I don't know who the we are. Well, I know it was me because they were talking to me. And I assume the other ones were Doomcock and Midnight's Edge. But I don't, yeah. I've heard it. I've heard it from the horse's mouth. I've heard it from people I've talked to who work on that show or used to work on the show. So yeah, I don't know about talking to me, but they should definitely, like, Critical Drinker. He's a writer. He's got very good ideas, a good understanding of things. I like Critical. Yeah, Doomcock knows Trek fucking better than anybody. As far as I know, him and Robert Meyer Burnett, Anti-Trekker knows his Trek, but his takes have been kind of awful lately. I don't know what's going on there, but there's a lot of people who know their Trek that they could talk to. Even, Trek Yards, those guys know their Trek. I would, Ronald D. Moore, his name was bandied about. That would be better than what we have. That would be better. But, I don't know if that's your right guy right now. I would, when he's done with The Expanse, Naren Shankar. That's the guy I would go for. Steve O for $9.99. Hail Gary, wanted to recommend a music video for you. Check out the Slipknot's Solway Firth. They include scenes from The Boys throughout pretty heavy, close to Iowa, second album. Good stuff. I will. I'll check it out. The Boys is a fantastic TV show based on a comic book that I was in. Do I have a picture? I don't know if I have a picture. Maybe on Facebook. So yeah, I was in Boys issue 23. I'm in the first 2 pages. I'm going to see if I can get those pictures. Yeah, here we go. There we go. And yeah, so here's me without a beard. Whoops, sorry. Did that again. Right there. Yeah, so my buddy Derek Robertson drew me into The Boys. I'm also in issue 37. I'm also in Happy, the comic Happy. I'm also in a comic called Ballistic. There we go. That's me. So yeah, I have an affinity for that show. Very much so. Very much so. But yeah, you know what? I will check it out. So it was, who was it again? Slipknot. Okay. Slipknot. Yeah, I know Slipknot. I'm usually not the biggest Slipknot fan, but I'm open to it. Chris Sullivan for £5. Nerdrotic plus lots of beer equals awesome night. Thanks from the UK. Dude, you are welcome. As long as you are at home or in the pub, having a good time, drinking responsibly. I mean, get loaded. That's fine. Just don't drive. Use an Uber or a Lyft or a bus or something. That is awesome. Thank you, Chris. And I appreciate you joining us here. It is 1:24 p.m. here on the West Coast in California, United States, San Francisco. It is it's a beautiful day outside. Here in San Francisco, the weather, it's not so bad. It's not so bad, but it's not great. San Diego has the best weather where I grew up. I mean, it was 75 pretty much every day, year round. It's beautiful. But here in San Francisco, it gets beautiful at the end of February, beginning of March, and September and October. Those are the best times to come here where it's like 70 degrees. It's gorgeous outside, except for the poop smell, but it's lower today. Brett Carlton for $5. Hey, I can get you 2 into Disney for free. Maybe we can do a meet, or if you want to relax without paying the mouse. My wife works there, so it's free. Brett, I will absolutely take you up on that. Down at Disneyland? Yeah, we can, or if you don't have to do that. I really appreciate it. I would not turn down free passes at Disneyland, but if you just want to hang out and have some coffee, we can do that too. Yeah, absolutely. Gary@nerdrotic.com is my email, Brett. And when I'm going to be going down to LA 4 or 5 times this year. So, most definitely. As a matter of fact, it's 80% I'm going this weekend, but I have to get my taxes done first. I don't want that hanging over my head. That's the only downside. This is a great job. I'm going to have it as long as I can. Doing the taxes sucks. I hate it. And my dad used to be an accountant, and when he was alive. My dad used to do Ted Geisel's taxes. Now, who knows? Who knows? It's got a very high population, Nick, but the entire city isn't. I'm not. But it's fine. It's fine. Who knows who Ted Geisel is? Who's Ted Geisel? Very famous person. You just don't know him by Ted Geisel. I'm waiting. Taxes suck. Yes. 200-watt studio for $5 was on the phone today with a utility. The conversation quickly went elsewhere. I turned her on to The Expanse, and she turned me on to The Witcher. LOL. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. That is awesome. Dr. Seuss. Thank you, Kelvington. Dr. Seuss. That's right. My dad used to do Dr. Seuss's taxes. The Expanse and The Witcher were the two, my 1A, 1B show from last year. The Expanse was fucking great. The Witcher was fucking fun. I will watch. I'm working on a review. I even ditched my Star Trek Discovery. I'm still going to do my Star Trek Discovery Season 2 review. I'll finish it some year. Probably over the summer is when I'll drop that. Count Falconer for £5. The Chibs, Kurtzman, and Kathleen Kennedy for not having a pot to pish or a window to throw it out of. Piss, you meant. Thanks for all the laughs and the entertainment, Gary. Count Falconer, you are welcome. We can only laugh at this right now because it's depressing. It's depressing. It's your Romulan anger sense kicking in right now, right? Benjamin Flensborg for 20 Danish krona. What is Scandinavian? I know that's Danish, but I have to ask. You're in the same area, kind of. But yes, my Romulan powers. Augustine Quinault for $5. Is it Quinault? Augustine? I like the first name. Augustine. That's good. I was born in August. $5. If Graham were to risk or relapsing, shouldn't the doctor have the tech to cure Graham permanently with just her sonic screwdriver? Yes. I mean, the crap she's been able to figure out with her sonic screwdriver, like figuring out hair samples from a beast are not from our reality. You think they could figure out how to cure cancer. That's what happens when you... I like the sonic screwdriver. I own a replica of every single one that's ever been made. I love it. I hate what they've done with it. It was supposed to be brought out like 4 times a season. Or once in a while. But man... Oh, Winter Wind 89. Yes, we are going to talk about this. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, wanted to write for the show. He did, and even Neil Gaiman had Neil Gaiman as his editor. They told him, we don't want American writers, and if we did, we wouldn't start with you. And you say, what the fuck? Right? The sensitive BBC. Inclusion. And diversity and sensitivity. And we want to talk to you about your health issues. And here is their quote. We don't want Americans. And if we did, we wouldn't start with you. Nah. I mean, come on. And I'm not a fan of nepotism, but Joe Hill's a decent writer. Okay. Lock and Key was a good comic book. By the way, I did watch Netflix's fucking marketing sucks. So I found out yesterday Lock and Key had been on Netflix for 7 days through a YouTuber. And I'm like, I I've been reading news articles and Deadline all week. Had no idea. Not a single ad. Nothing. So I watched the first episode, and it's too early to tell, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty good. But it's too early to tell. I like the comic. I do. I didn't love the comic. I liked it. I thought it was good. And Joe Hill's he'd be better than Chibnall, but I will side with the BBC. For one, they should have been a lot nicer with the rejection. That was just fucked up. I mean, just go, thank you. We appreciate it. And by the way, xenophobic? Yeah. I mean, you don't want to say it out loud, but I do understand. And I am a staunch believer in keeping Doctor Who British. It has to. I don't want an American writer on it either. I really don't. Let me change that. I don't want an American showrunner. I think American writing an episode or two is not that bad. I think we can give that a shot. Or a Canadian, or an Australian, or okay, what if a South Korean wants to write for Doctor Who? Is the BBC going to say no? Oh my God, somebody from South Korea, please write a Doctor Who episode and pitch it to the BBC so we can get the same response. Let's see how that gets, let's see what happens there. I will crowdfund that shit. Can we get a South Korean writer to write a Doctor Who episode? And then pitch it to the BBC, and I bet you that's their blanket response. Well, we wouldn't start with you, and we would never let a South Korean write for Doctor Who. The reason I bring up South Korea is because it's actually popular there. They went there. Capaldi went there on tour. Henry Perez for $2. Doctor Who, shut up. Let's get going already. Right? I know. The Doctor has been a dick. The Doctor has been cool. The Doctor would not do that. That was such a weak, for one, you do that with the female Doctor. How dare you? How dare you do that with the female Doctor? You made her look weak. Oh my God. It happens every time. Sometimes they reach so hard to be so inclusive and so diverse, and they end up being so racist, sexist, phobic, istphobe, whatever. The one that I always love to point out, Ghost Rider. They wanted to make Ghost Rider Latino. Of course, the Latino Ghost Rider had to work at a garage and had to be related to people who had gang relations, because every Latino in California is a mechanic who has brothers and sisters who are in a gang, because that's not a stereotypical way to look at things. Why couldn't he have been a manager of a Subway? Why couldn't he have been a lawyer? An architect? Smooth Jams, California for £5. That thumbnail, XD. Oh, thank you very much. No, I saw that on the trailer, and sorry it's not in focus. That's the best shot I can get. But I saw the look in her face. I'm like, oh my God. Now I have made let's face it. I've made a little bit of a living off of Jodie facial expressions in my thumbnail. It's my favorite thing to do. It's very easy to do. You just go through an episode, and every time she starts doing her socially awkward thing, she just contorts her face in the weirdest ways. And all you have to do is it's kind of like a Gatling gun with the screen cap, because it's easier to screen cap on Mac than it is on PC. So you hit, Shift Command 3, and you just go boop, 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 like that. And you get 20 pictures in a row really fast, lightning fast. And you get some of the best facial expressions from Jodie. Her facial contortions are the best. Yes. Is Jodie the one giving small children nightmares now instead of the Daleks? Haha. Hashtag behind the couch. She is. Smooth Jam, California. I am openly rooting for the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master. I am now a fan of the Master. I wish they would call it the Master. You know, this has been brought up before, and it just hit me. You know what would have been a great show is the Ronnie and the Master kind of doing a Thelma Louise, since we have two Masters out there, redemption spin-off series of those two trying to make things right and fucking things up all the time. It would be brilliant. It could have been funny, and you had your female representation. God, I hate that. Oh, God, there's never been a shortage of women in Doctor Who. Because alt-right isphobes are watching Doctor Who and Star Trek all the time. Speaking of that commercial, I sold all my stock. Oh, you did? Okay, what commercial was I referring to? Benjamin Flensborg, answer me. Oh, you were going back to your... Hang on. It's referring to your other... Yes. Okay. You sold all your stock. Yeah, was that a commercial? Is that what it was? Was that a commercial for a company? Can I show it? Okay, so the video I was referring to earlier, you know what? I'll find it. Hang on. And I will link it in the chat. If that was a commercial for a company, holy shite. Where'd it go? Now I can't find it. Un momento. I know the quartering tweeted it. Oh my God, what is that? Oh, it's okay. It's a Swedish Airlines commercial. I didn't even know it was a Swedish Airlines commercial. Yeah, I would sell my stock too in that. That's like the European Gillette commercial. What just happened there? Here. This will probably be easier to do. Yeah, Nordic Airlines SAS cans and after online hate campaign. Here we go. God damn it. Stop doing that, you fucking boomer. Here we go. All right. Nordic Airlines, SAS cans ad after online hate campaign. Stockholm, Nordic Airlines SAS removed an internet ad debunking myths about Scandinavia on Wednesday after it became the victim of an online hate campaign, particularly from nationalists and right-wing groups. Just to make something clear, I'm not right-wing. The airline commercial was What is Truly Scandinavia sought to extol the virtue of travel by showing how aspects of the region's culture, from Swedish meatballs to Danish pastries to parental leave, that is a fucking leap. Okay, from Swedish meatballs to Danish pastries to parental leave, all came from elsewhere originally. What is really Scandinavian? Absolutely nothing, it said. In a way, Scandinavia was brought here piece by piece by everyday people. We found the best way home. Yeah, I don't know where the commercial is. That's not it. Yeah, if you need to, maybe one of the mods can find the commercial. But it was bullshit. And it's what I talked about earlier was, yeah, you can go back in time and say, well, for one, did you see their example of the windmill? The windmill was actually invented here. And then they showed like, it's a complete different, it's apples and oranges. They were arguing. They said the Swedish meatball came from Turkey. Okay, well, the Turkey was what? The Ottoman Empire, the Turkish Empire, meaning they probably got it from somebody else. So who knows? Maybe the Swedish meatball came from freaking China. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's called a Swedish meatball now. They made it Swedish. They made it their thing. Oh, but that's appropriation. So we're talking about meatball appropriation now. Is that what we're fucking talking about? Is that what we're reduced to? Meatball appropriation. We're not even supposed to be eating meatballs, according to Joaquin Phoenix. Fuck, it'll never fucking end unless we end this shit. And yes, is it a hate campaign to hate being fucking annoyed by a bunch of pretentious fart sniffers? Yes. Fuck these people, man. I'm so sick. It's right wing. Apparently, criticism is right wing. Apparently, discord is right wing. Oh my God. Fucking, you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm going to get political for a second. Left, you're losing people left and right. Keep doing what you're doing. There won't be one left. And we need one. We need to have choices. We need to have both sides. We need extremes. We do. But they should not be fucking controlling. The extremes shouldn't be controlling shit. They can influence, but they can't control shit. We need sides. We need choices. But things have gotten a little crazy. A little off the rails. Reel it in. Okay, I'm going to get off Twitter. Fuck Twitter. So good for you for selling your stock, Benjamin. I salute you for that. You are, what Scandinavian? Freaking, Scandinavia. That's why. And, thank you for the compliment on the thumbnail. Captain Spire. IKEA, by the way, freaking IKEA Swedish meatballs are the shit. I actually drive down there and I don't shop there and I just go get the Swedish meatballs and the fries because they're awesome. I can't stand their furniture. I bought it before, but I mean, I'm not 25 and I don't live in an apartment, so I don't need to shop at IKEA anymore. But I will go down there to eat once in a while. Captain Spire for $10. Plus there's that fries, which I do shop at Fry's. I like Fry's. Fry's is a giant Radio Shack, if you don't know. It's a giant electronics store, so I like looking at TVs and gadgets and shit. And they actually sell Blu-rays and CDs and there still. Captain Spire for $10. I watched one episode of that Mirror Universe. I enjoyed the story with the old guy missing his wife, but when the doctor appeared, everything felt wrong. I would have no idea this was a Doctor Who show. So I watched one episode with that Mirror Universe. I enjoyed the story with the old guy missing his wife. Which one? But then the doctor appeared. Everything felt wrong. Oh, okay. No. You're watching It Takes You Away. Captain Spire, you saw It Takes You Away. Took me a minute to get there. That was, you mean the guy whose wife died and he left his blind Asperger's daughter to fend for herself while he went over there and visited his wife, leaving her behind because he was a stupid white male. I freaking hated that episode. Like with a purple passion. And then it ended up being a pocket universe created by a frog who was lonely. Which is kind of Doctor Who, but it's dumb. It was dumb. Captain Spire for $2. Take me back to Constantinople. No, you can't. There might be giants. Istanbul is not Constantinople. I can't remember the words of the song. It's been a long time since I've listened to They Might Be Giants. Modalicious for $2. Celebrating Christmas is culture appropriation. It is, Modalicious. It is. Absolutely. I'm American. I mean, like, what did we, hamburgers maybe? We're creating it. We're young. I know everybody in Europe laughs when I go, this house was really old. It was built in 1910 when I was walking around buildings in Europe that were built in freaking 1400. I was in a castle this year built in 1300. But yeah, this house is old for California. This house was built in 1910. It has redwood, which you're not supposed to build with anymore. Norwegian Kryptonian for 22 Norwegian krona. Our women are spectacular. Scandinavian. Oh, yes, they are. Freaking spectacular. Like, yes. What's Scandinavia? Scantily clad Scandinavian women? I don't know. Bjorn. Oh, we're hearing from him today. We're hearing from him. Represent Bjorn for 50 Swedish krona. Scandinavian Air Systems, SAS, airline. Don't book flights with them. They hate Scandinavians. Hail Gary in the chat. You heard him. You heard him. Yeah, that ad was really, you want to talk about, I understand what their point was. The problem is, it's the same thing with Doctor Who. That ad was the same thing that's going on with Doctor Who. Is you can have all the best intentions, but your partisan agenda just bleeds through. I mean, you can't even hide it. They're not even good enough to hide it. And I don't know if they want to. We're getting propaganda in commercials. In fucking commercials trying to sell something. I mean, I can't get my head around that. I can't get my head around how you could be anti-capitalist when you're trying to sell something and you're trying to put your propaganda into something you're trying to sell. We've gone insane. We've gone fucking insane. Nicholas Horton for £5. Hail Gary, more interesting signals being received from space. Really? Is it, take me to your leader? I mean, or is it, can I go home now? Is it my people coming to get me? Elaborate, Nicholas Horton, in the chat. You don't have to send another super chat. Corey Timmigan for $5 Australian. Thanks for taking on Access Media. It is fun. You are most welcome. I enjoy the hell out of it. I fear no noodle-armed Access Media member. Because of you, I'm watching Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time and loving it. Stay angry. Oh, right on. Yeah, go back. The one good thing out of Picard, I will say this, is I've gone back and watched Star Trek The Next Generation episodes, and apparently more people are doing it too. That's good. Go watch good Star Trek. Watch it on Netflix, because that doesn't help CBS. Watch it on Netflix. Even Hartnell's Who would have been very British, who was very British, would have said, yes, I can imagine it would scare you. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, that's all the doctor needed to say. Nothing is not the wrong. You know what? You go, it must be scary. It must be horribly scary. I have no idea what it feels, Graham, but Graham, I'm here for you. Boom, done. That's what most people would say. It's like, it must be, you acknowledge, and then you acknowledge that you don't know what it feels like, and then you just say, I'll be here. And that's a clear message going, listen, I don't know what else to say, but even the most, and for one, if she's socially awkward, why does she have more companions than anybody else? How does that fucking make sense? If you're socially awkward, you would have one companion. Socially awkward people do get close to like one person who can somehow, I don't know, the personality types match. But a whole group of people with a socially awkward person. Huh? Oh yeah, it's dumb writers. Cracklin for $4.99. Gary, what's on your shirt? Also, I'll just keep working on that thing I was working on. Yes, please do. I will get to you. Shit, tomorrow. I've got a bunch of stuff to do today. I've got a whole stack. I've got 2 videos to make. I've got to do my taxes. I don't want to bore you with that shit. I got to deal with my mom. I got a lot of crap going on right now. And none of it. And I've got to try to focus on this channel because it has to keep going. And I have to focus on the important stuff. Cardinal Sin for $1.99. Hey, Gary, check your email on Don Ecker for Thursday. I will check it when I get a chance, Cardinal Sin. You don't have to send super chats, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, Exozone is tomorrow. I'm worried about today. Yeah. So, and I just found out it was on yesterday night. So, I have no idea what's going on with that. It's going to be on my channel this time. Cardinal Sin. Yeah. Cause we were on Doomcocks last time. So, yeah, we're going to have to talk about that. And Cardinal Sin, yeah. After this weekend, you and we need to talk. I need to talk to Doomcock about the future of the Exozone, because it looks like my scheduling is just going to be really hard for the next month or so. I am going to Contact later in the year, but we might have to, I don't know, man. I hate to think about it out loud, but we might have to move it to like once a month or something, because like it's not something I can do all the time. It sucks, but that's life. Michael Immersch for £5. Have some bratwurst. German greetings. Oh, hello. That's where my adopted family is all German, and I love bratwurst. It is the best. It is the best. Thank you. Greetings from Germany. I went to your fine country for the first time this year. I was at an airport. I didn't leave the airport. It sucked, but I will go check it out someday. I can't wait to go. Lost in Limbo for £10. Nothing to say, but he just said Lost in Limbo. I appreciate the donation, Lost in Limbo, and hopefully you are found. Destiny Captain for $4.99, a donation with no comment. Destiny, if you have something to say, hit @Nerdrotic and ask me a question. Gary's t-shirt still has all the real doctors on it. Oh, okay, yes. He did. Thank you, Starry-Eyed Girl, reminding me. Let me get a camera shot here. My shirt is silhouettes of all the doctors up until Matt Smith. You know where I got this? My comic shop. Have a drink. The comic shop I owned for 10 years. That's where I got the shirt. Robert Maxey for $2. Hey, Gary, have you seen the Reprisal on Hulu? I have not. What is Reprisal? What is Reprisal? I will check it out. It's got a good poster. But I have not seen it. I have not seen it. I've not even heard of it until you brought it up. So I will check it out. Thank you for the $2, Robert Maxey. Jesus is King, or Jesus is King, however you want to look at it, for $2. You and Critical Drinker are my go-to YouTuber reviewers. Wow. Being put in the same realm with the Critical Drinker is beyond an honor. Again, I don't know if it's Jesus is King or Jesus is King, so I'll say both. But thank you. Critical is brilliant. I've got to live stream a couple times. We've gotten friendly. We're talking. Really nice guy and knows his shit. Absolutely subscribe to the Critical Drinker. If you haven't done it, go watch his videos multiple times. They're entertaining. It's the kind of video you can watch more than once. Like Red Letter Media, I've watched their Star Trek Discovery review like 8 times. You know, Critical Drinker, I've watched his Westworld season 2 thing like 10 times. It's cathartic that somebody finally understood. I had trouble articulating why I hated Westworld, and he articulates it perfectly because I used to love Westworld. I was telling everybody under the sun, watch Westworld. It's the best show ever. It's the greatest show ever. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was a victim of current Hollywood culture. Berkeley shut down Milo for racism and homophobia, says Modalicious for $2. Yes, I remember. I wasn't happy about that either. You know what? They got Milo. Milo got himself. He got himself. And that's why you got to be careful. I mean, you do have to be careful because, I mean, you never know when the pylon's coming. And that's why I really empathized with like Robert Storms. I didn't watch his videos a lot, and I'm sure he doesn't have any idea who I am. I just didn't think it was fair that a Hollywood actor would pick on somebody like that. And then Philip DeFranco with his fucking millions of subs would pick on a guy like that when they're being disingenuous. And because he's just being a fucking fanboy. I'm not saying he was articulate. I'm not saying, honestly, dude, his take was just, I don't see anything wrong with it, honestly. I heard Parasite is a great film. I have no real interest in seeing it, but I heard it's a great film. I wouldn't besmirch it in any way, but I can totally understand what he's saying and him rooting for the Joker to win because a comic book film winning Best Picture means a lot to comic book fans. I don't know why. I mean, I give a fuck about the Oscars, but it means a lot to comic book fans, and it would have made a ton of them happy. Believe me, I was there when Dark Knight, it did. I think it got nominated for Best Picture, right? But it didn't win. It deserved to fucking win, and it didn't, and it was bullshit. But I was also there when, fucking Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers, which are arguably better than Return of the King. I don't know. I like it all. They should have won Best Picture too. And that's Hollywood. They're stupid. And they give it to picture. I mean, like, nobody's going to remember Parasite. Nobody. Zero. 10 years, nobody's going to. It'll be a trivia question. But if Joker won, everybody would have known. And that's his argument. Best Picture should be timeless classic. Timeless classic. Parasite, at the very best, because it's a foreign film, unfortunately, will be cult. It'll be cult. That's it. But it's very of its time, I heard. I have to see it. I heard it's really good. So maybe it will stand the test of time. I don't know. I can't judge that. But Joker will. That performance will be remembered forever. And that's what they need to keep in mind when they're voting Best Picture, but they're all prisoner of the moments. Whatever. Who cares? It's the Oscars. They're fucking stupid. Oscars so cringe. Bird of Prey 5. There he is right there. Bird of Prey 5. $2. Thank you, Gary Kapla. No, Kapla was a great video, dude. That was a great video, Bird. I will share it. Briefly. So our Hollywood heroes and our BBC heroes are failing. And the reason they're failing is not because of the actors necessarily. It's the writing and the producers and the agenda they're saddling these women with when they put them in these lead roles. Now, Jodie Whittaker is a champion of this stuff. And quite frankly, Margot Robbie, who was good as Harley Quinn, is a victim of her own her own fart sniffing. If you go to the Midnight's Edge video, it was her idea to have a bunch of girls together in a violent movie that's rated R. It was her fucking idea. She was the producer on that film. Here's the biggest difference between Margot Robbie and oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? This sucks. God, I hate getting old. Hang on. I want to get all my information right here. Okay. So they wanted Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey to be Deadpool. And as I stated in my video, I was wrong about one thing. But Hollywood sees things very simplistically. So Deadpool, sassy fourth wall breaking hero, rated R movie, cussing, $1 billion. Okay, so all we need to do is have a hero being violent and cussing and being a little sassy and make it rated R, and we'll make $1 billion too. And now the Joker, believe me, the Joker's going to spawn, like, we're going to get a supervillain and we're going to make it a period piece and we're going to limit the budget and we'll make $1 billion too. They don't think about the director, the character, the nuance at all. They're just, Hollywood's generally stupid. I mean, collectively, it's fucking stupid. They're dumb. And they only succeed is because they're talented, but they're not smart. So we get thrown, out of 100 movies, we get a good one. Okay, great. That's not a very good fucking percentage. If they took the time, put the coke down a little bit, and the hookers, and listened to fandom or did their research, they would be so much better off. And as the super chat was brought up earlier, and listen, they don't need to talk to me or a freaking YouTuber. I know, like, a lot of YouTubers, well, yes, they should talk to me. No. When it comes to fandom, okay, not creative, there's two different things. You should find collectively people who are fans of the work first, because fandom is immersion, and you can't really teach immersion in a short amount of time. Sometimes, Harv Bennett's the great example that Doomcock brings up. That's an anomaly. Usually it's best to go to a fan. Now, when it comes to selling things to fans, you do not ask a creative. Sorry, he's the last person you need to ask. I've always been a champion of you talk to retailers. Now, in the 80s and 90s, we had video retailers and record stores and toy shops. Yeah, you talk to those people. Right now, there's not much of that left. And honestly, if you can find a non-socially awkward comic shop owner, that's who I would talk to, because they talk to a fan every single day and they hear everybody's opinion. Day in, day out. Comic shop owners usually work 6 to 7 days a week, and that's all they do. Comic books, fandom, pop culture, 24/7. The job doesn't stop. It's fun. So those are they should. And you know what? DC used to talk to them. They used to get comic shop owners and fly them down to LA and have a little chat with them. And they can learn a lot. And not live by every word they say, but consult. Because you can't learn fandom overnight. You can't. But as I said before, that Robert Storm's reaction on Twitter was the best example of the demarcation, the line between normies and fanboys. Fanboys completely understood what Robert Storms was saying. We did not need an explanation. I went, yeah, duh. So what? Now, a large portion of the Twitter blue checkmark mob shitheads just wanted to call somebody an istrophobe. Okay? And using Robert Storm's own words, I'm not a racist. My ex-wife is Jewish. It was funny. But as I was saying, but he was just a fanboy, an inarticulate fanboy. That's why his channel has some growth and people like him, because I tell you, at the comic shop, I had like five or six people just like Robert Storms shopping at my store. They're everywhere. Every comic shop has a Robert Storms. They're harmless. They're completely harmless. They're really, really passionate fans who, are great customers to have. They'll talk your freaking ear off, and that's fine, but they'll come in and buy comics, and they actually give a shit. So, but, empathy is a word that blue checkmark Twitter's not really aware of, and, that's why it's such a shit platform. I'm sorry. It's like, it's such a waste of time. It's nice. I've got 15,000 followers. I'll probably keep it up for promotion, but this year is the year I'm going to reduce my hour to nothing, because I'd rather just spend it here. It's time I could spend here or on Patreon or somewhere else. The crossovers, I tested it just the other day. One day I didn't share a video on Twitter and Facebook, and I saw zero difference. Zero. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Bird of Prey 5. Again, great video. Only unsolicited advice. I would have waited till later in the. I guess when did you release it? Did you maybe you did release it early in the morning, and I'll just shut up. How's that sound? But I'll share it. It was really good. I rewatched Waters of Mars, says Detritus, for $5. And Tennant really sold himself as the Doctor during the end sequence. Imagine Joing trying to sell that speech. Cringe. Waters of Mars, Detritus. When I first watched it, I didn't realize how great it was. I didn't. And it's over time that is the best Tennant episode. Because I would say Family of Blood was his best acting. But no, Waters of Mars is his best acting. That was just like, all those specials are good. I freaking think they're all great. His special, and that's probably what we're going to get with Jodie. Freaking Tennant's season 4 in the specials were just peak Doctor Who. Absolute peak Doctor Who. So fucking good. Oh my God. It makes me want to watch them right now. Adam Child, what's up, brother? How's it going? Sup, Gary? I'm still alive. I was wondering. I saw you tweeted at Doomcock yesterday. I'm like, where in the fuck has he been? Been forever since I've seen the show. Glad to be here watching the coolest dude on YouTube. Wow. I don't know about that, but thank you. So I need a Nerdrotic beanie. Yes, we are working on them. I'll be in San Francisco this month. Yeah, well, let's have coffee. Just drop me a line. You got my info. We'll go meet at that coffee shop again. I might have to come by and say hi. Most definitely. Thank you for the $9.99, my friend. No, come on over. If anybody's in San Francisco, just freaking hit me up. We'll go have coffee. I have no problem with that. Yes, I'm working on Nerdrotic beanies currently. Mrs. Nerdrotic is working on Nerdrotic beanies. And she's sharing them on Instagram. I have an Instagram page, by the way. which is Starry. Are you still there? Could one of my mods put in my Instagram info? I'm supposed to be pumping my Instagram, and I'm not doing it enough. But it's instagram.com/nerdrotic. And follow me on Instagram. We do giveaways. That's where we do all the swag stuff. Are you expecting them to stick to their own canon? Says Krish Persia for £2. No. Why would they do that? Why? And I don't know if you're talking about Star Trek or Doctor Who. The question applies to both. Kai MFS for $5. You're right. Eucalyptus grows fast. Supposed to be for lumber, but yes, it was too weak. Right. Thank you, Kai. It was for railroad ties and lumber. It's too weak for constructions. Farmers started using them to block fields from strong winds. Yes, and that's what. And now they're everywhere. It's everywhere. And Southern California is a desert. Like there's not supposed to be trees of any kind. It's just very Southern California. People see it as beautiful. It is along the coast. You go inland, it's brown, deserty, bleh. Cracklin for $4.99. What if the next episode Picard wakes up to see he was Locutus the whole time? STP was a simulation he'd been in. See, that would actually, I would be okay with that. Hang on, I gotta widen it for some reason. Oh, now I lost it. Hang on, I'm back up there. Why did it jump? It jumped hard on me, folks. Hang on. Okay, what if the next episode Picard wakes up to see he was Locutus the whole time? Star Trek Picard was a simulation, and he's being rescued by Riker and 6 of 9? 6 of 9. That would take away too much stuff, though. Well, no, wait. No. See, if they made it a simulation where he got re-assimilated in Star Trek 2, yes. Or not in Star Trek First Contact, yes. Although it would take away generations. I'm going to go with that. It'd take away generations, but it would take away all the later seasons of Star Trek Next Generation. That's an interesting concept as like a what if alternate reality story. I think that'd be really cool. Cracklin. Eric K for $4.99. Gary, eucalyptus was brought to California for firewood and building. Unfortunately, they brought the wrong type. It's every place now. It is. Diversity in Comics Bear for $19.99. Show me on the Diversity in Comics Bear where the SJW touched you. The entire purpose of bringing back our beloved franchise has been to use them to prop up woke propaganda. Skywalker's Picard, the Doctor, they were always woke soldiers all along. Destroy our mythos in an instant, baby. Oh, they will. They will. That was the intention. They're just they're bullshitting us. When Picard and Kurtzman were announcing Picard and they're like showing all the reverence for the next generation and telling the stories of how Next Generation inspired people to become scientists and astronauts, they were going to make that. Kurtzman couldn't inspire. He only inspires me to puke. That's about it. Hail, Gary, did you see Doomcock's video on Kurtzman losing it over YouTube? Asked George Forrest Jr. for $4.99. Yeah, I did. I watched all of Doomcock's videos. His previous one, I didn't get the notifications, and I let him know. Yeah, but I did watch it, yes. Frederico Curzel for £10. So I am the kind of nerd who's been made fun of for not having watched Doctor Who or Star Trek. Do you think I should start now? Federico, are they making fun? Don't make fun of them. I just, see, that doesn't inspire people. Making things, okay. Devaluing character. That's what they're doing to Picard. That doesn't inspire people. So I would say, oh, well, lucky you. You haven't seen those things yet. You've got 50 years of each to watch. You've got so much. Honestly, you don't need anything new at this point. You could just go back and start at the beginning. It depends, though, how old you are, Frederico. With Doctor Who, I always tell people start out with the new series, 2005, Christopher Eccleston. If you like it, go through 8 seasons. If you continue to like it and get into it, go back into the classic episodes. That's what a lot of people have done. With Star Trek, I would start with the original series. I prefer the original series. I think the original series stands up. I think stylistically it looks better, has a little more swagger, and quite frankly, the transfers are better because it was filmed on film. Daniel, for $5. When I think of Star Trek, a mix of Breaking Bad and the CW comes to mind. The only thing that we're missing are sex scenes with full penetration. Pretty much. And that's how they sold it. See, remember when we have way too many YouTubers taking the creatives or the repurposers and the actors, what they say at face value. Every single word, period, dotted T or cross T, dotted I is thought out. It is a commercial. It's a constant commercial. I hope I've made myself clear. I mean, I know Rotten Tomatoes is a constant commercial. None of it is real. These actors aren't real. They're acting. When they are doing an interview, when Sir Patrick Stewart was doing that interview for Variety, which didn't help his show at all, it cost him viewers, and it got a lot of people pissed off. He was acting because he's an empty shell. He has no fucking thoughts of his own. He's a 79-year-old man who's been pampered for most of his life. I know he had very humble beginnings. He's decades away from those humble beginnings. He has been a rich man most of his life, a pampered rich man at that. Pogs Rebens for $9.99. Justice for a Nos. That's right, Justice for a Nos. And let's see if I can find that. This troll has been adding me for like 2 days now. I don't block anybody on Twitter, so I don't care. I mean, I just ignore it. Here it goes. It's Doomfake. He changes his name all the time. It's the same guy. Here we go. Here we go. I was looking for this on Friday Night Tights. Whoops. God dang it. Stop doing that. Whoops. There we go. We need this to go that way. And there we go. Oh, that's what I need to do. Hang on. I'm trying to get this centered. That's probably better. Or not. What the hell? All right, so you can't see here. Window capture. There we go. How's that? Okay, so I keep doing that. That's for real, folks. And speaking of Justice for a Nos, if it was just this, I wouldn't have a problem. But with Star Trek Discovery, especially season 2, they copied Marvel. They copied freaking The Matrix, Terminator, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica. I could go the Orville. There's an actual Orville scene. This with Star Trek Picard in 3 episodes, we already have Serenity, Firefly, Terminator, The Expanse. They're really copying the Expanse in a lot of ways. And because Lord of the Rings, by the way, is really picking up steam. It's getting popular again because it's the 20-year rule. I will explain that to you guys someday. If you're a student of trends and pop culture, there is a 20-year rule. When something becomes 20 years old, that generation gets a little older. They're able to spend more money, and that thing gets popular again. That's why the 80s revival, 90s revival, well, we are approaching 20 years with Lord of the Rings, and it's about to get immensely, immensely popular again. Just like Star Wars did in 1997. I could go on and on. This is what happens when you're a geek. See, I used to do this shit on my free time. I still do it on my free time, but I have not changed from 20 years ago. I just have somebody to talk to now. I'm always like this. So look at this shit. He's called Elnor. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to embarrass because like he's been calling out the fandom menace left and right, and it's just we're gonna go to the comments on this. Okay, we're gonna go to the comments on this. Usually I don't do Twitter stuff, but okay. So right there we said, so we have been reduced to judging a character based purely on superficial traits. Romulan, long hair. Wear something the same color as an elf. Must be a ripoff. We have not seen one thing about his character. Hate him before you get to know him. Have fun with that. I don't know exactly what he's referring to. It looks like I think it's more to do with judging the writers at this point. This isn't the third season. So yeah. So we don't hate the character, Anti-Trekker. Elnor might be the best character in Star Trek Picard. Does that excuse the theft? One does not have to do with the other. So if it's a well-executed character, well, it's fine. It's fine. No, there's no creativity with these writers. It's hard for us to see something like this and not say something based on past work, based on priors. Anti-Trekker, I seem to remember a live stream of you pointing out all the times Star Trek Discovery writers, you invoking the name Alex Kurtzman over and over again, that these people were ripping other people off. I think we're all looking for consistency of argument. If you like Star Trek Discovery and you like Star Trek Picard, I have no problem with you. That's a consistent argument. That's a consistent argument. But if you're here to fucking tell me that there's not similarities between Picard and STD, I question your motivation. Openly, I question it. Star Trek Picard is not a good show, in my opinion. It's not a good show because it's not well executed. The writing and the dialogue specifically, plus the scenarios are nonsensical and they're throwing too much in. If it was just the synths or just the Romulans, but it's the synths, the Romulans, the Borg, it's like everything. And Section 31 is going to be involved again. I've just seen this. I've seen this before. It's JJ Trek. I don't like the style of it. I don't like the fucking lens flares. I don't like the camera constant motion and the fucking Dutch angles. I'm sick of that shit. Yeah, but more importantly, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. And, just compare it to an episode of The Expanse. Watch a Picard episode and watch The Expanse episode. Intelligent television, characters I give a shit about, and a bunch of actors speaking lines, but not convincing me that they're their character. So Anas Abdeen, in my opinion, was ripped off, and we see example after example after example, but let's not prejudge anything. Let's not prejudge. The tardigrade, how could you judge the tardigrade? But it's been stolen. It doesn't matter. They might have been well executed in the story. Okay. Not really sure how those two fucking compare, but all right. Hey, Gary, have you seen Reprisal? Oh, I already read that one. Justice for Anas. Robert Maxey for $2. Have you seen Reprisal on YouTube? I said no to that one. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Daniel, thank you again for the $5. And we have Mr. Demento for $5. I wonder if Kurtzman knows who Reginald Barclay is. Yes. Also, I want to know if the laws... I want to know what the laws are in the Federation about AI with holograms. That's what I need to know too. And I can't believe... And nobody asked the question. There is no difference fundamentally other than physical from an AI hologram and an AI synth. Actually, the hologram is more dangerous. It's way more dangerous because the synth was just a drone, basically. The hologram had a personality, and it can get closer to you, and it can still pick up solid objects. And it makes no fucking sense. They'll explain it away just like they did in Star Trek Discovery. Remember, Star Trek Discovery promised it would make sense that Spock never mentioned Michael Burnham. Well, it'll absolutely make sense and it'll fit in the canon. They made it classified. That's it. Classified. That doesn't make sense at all. So Spock really didn't trust Kirk or any of his friends, and he never spoke about it again because he was closer to Mikey Spock than he was to any one of those people. Robert Maxey, welcome to the Jaloja level of our membership. I will do a live stream in a couple weeks just for the members. Thank you very much. Mr. Roboto for $2. Is Harley Quinn really for hairdressers looking shaggy? Who's looking shaggy? Harley Quinn? Yes, it is. It is. I don't know if I elaborated on that, but the way the style, everything stylistically, the costuming and stuff, it's almost like it was made exclusively for hairdressers. Yeah, if you know the culture, and yes, there is a hairstylist culture. It's except, I mean, it wasn't as goofy. Like Tank Girl is a better example of a show or a movie made for hairdressers. But yeah, it's made for fashionistas who live in big cities. That's what it was made for. And 14-year-old girls who aren't allowed to go to the movie because it's rated R. What do you think of the old show Fringe? Think both Abrams and Kurtzman's worked on it. I kind of liked it. North Strider, I did too. It tailed off at the end, but it's probably the best thing that they've done on television. But Kurtzman was working with Orci at the time and J.J. Abrams. Roberto Orci was the better writer. It's clear. But Kurtzman was the more manipulative. That's my guess. Mark Olive for $1.99. Stewart was 47 in season 1 of TNG. Will Wheaton is 47 now. Yes. Yeah, people are aging slower, or I don't know. Hey, William Hartnell was 4 when he took on the Doctor. I'm 50. So he was 4 years older than me when he took on the Doctor. He looks like he's 72. So yeah. Mr. Roboto, you should get a signing booth at the boys panel. Are you in the boys? I am not in the boys, Mr. Roboto, for $5. I have not been asked, but I'm available for a cameo. Derek Robertson. No, I love Derek Robertson. Robert Morgan. It's good to see you, Mr. Roboto. Long time no see. Robert Morgan for $1.99. Super. He just says super. Oh shit. I almost knocked all that over. CMA 454 NS $10. If you ever have the time to do some reading, I really recommend The Burning City by Larry Niven, Jerry Purnell. Post-Atlantis fantasy written by 2 hard science fiction writers. Ooh. The Burning City. I will check it out. Time for reading will be in my retirement, my friend. Sassy Marie for $5 sends me a little cat going like that and a little emoji. I like that. Thank you. And obviously a cat fan. Thassio for $1.99. You Don. Okay. I'm trying to work on the language here because I got the letter Y. So it says, why don't you other YouTubers unite and make a review site? I would. It's a great idea in paper. Never happened, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I would love to, but too many egos. There would have to be a leader, and when you have a bunch of alphas, it's hard to pick a bunch of leaders or a leader. And the review site, I mean, it's been done, and it just never works. It never works. Uniting, I think the Fandom Menace has been so unique in this. It never became organized. And the minute it does, the thing is, when something becomes organized, then you have to start gatekeeping. You can't bring everybody in because it's a business, blah, 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 blah. That's what's been great. There's been a ton of unity in the fandom, and it's not with everybody. Okay. There's been upset people. Certainly have for a myriad of reasons. Some are valid. Some are completely fucking up their ass wrong. And, there's nothing you can do about it. People are people, but it's just been a hashtag. It's been fun. And we've been, a lot of us have been close for a long time. Listen, I watch YouTube just like you do. I've seen shit fall apart, and it falls apart because of egos and money gets involved. And like, that's the shit I'm going to stay away from. So I'll live stream with people. I'll bring them on my channel, but going to business with other people, no way. No way. I did that at the comic shop and I regretted it. And it's not like other people are bad and I'm great. It's not like that at all. It's, we all work differently. We all have different expectations. They're not always going to line up. And anytime money breaks up families, what do you think it's going to do to YouTubers? But it's a nice thought. It would be great. I like it here though. I like it here. I do. For as much shit as people give YouTube, I have had little to no problems with them at all. But other people have, and I will always help other YouTubers though. I will always be here, if you're a YouTuber out there or content creator, whether you agree with me or not, like if YouTube, like if you get like something random happens to your channel or you get shut down, reach out to me. I will help you in any way I can. Because we are all in this together. Well, most of us are. Some of us are not. Some of us just want to destroy, which is fine. I don't want Hollywood destroyed. I want them to remember that there's a large group of people in this country that aren't ist and phobes. I want them to remember neutrality. I don't want them to change their politics at all. I don't need male leads in everything I watch. As a matter of fact, my favorite show is Buffy. Okay. I want them to start writing women like women. And it's mostly men doing it. Sorry, but it is. Idiots like Kurtzman and Chibnall. They don't know how to fucking write women. They wouldn't know the first fucking thing. And there's reasons for that. But, yeah. Nicholas Horton for £5. What gave them the idea to turn the sonic screwdriver into a woman's sex toy? That is the worst designed sonic screwdriver. It's the only one I don't own. Yeah, and it looks like a freaking vibrator. It does. I mean, like, that is the dumbest. I mean, quite frankly, I understand why they didn't give her Capaldi's, because that was oh my God, that one looks like a penis. It does. It does. But yeah, I would have gone back to the old school one, that Baker had, the one with the little circle at the top. That's my favorite. I like that one. Yeah, the 8th Doctor used it. Oh, it fell. I'll show you a little version of it. This one right here. That's the good one. Pulls down and... Oh, that probably like jerking off too, actually, if you pull it down. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's phallic. So what? Any plans of reviewing Netflix's new Dracula show? Queen Gone for 20 Norwegian krona. I got to watch the last episode. I'll do one on Nerdrotic Live. I'll do like a live quick one. Sure, why not? I'm going to review Lock and Key. I don't know if it's going to be on this channel or the other one, but I'm going to review Lock and Key and Witcher. I'm slowly working on my Doctor Who and Picard. I'm working on them during the season, so I will have season review videos when they are done. I'm only going to do episodic reviews for Picard live. I'm not going to do a video. It's too much work, and I'm already doing a live review, and quite frankly, you just get the low tier stuff. Sorry. But, yeah, I'm going to continue going live afterwards. It seems to be doing okay. I'm getting enough views for a live stream to keep doing it. So I think my last one had 75,000 views. That's good. That's good. For a live stream, that's good. Do you think the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker will ever display the fury of the Time Lord? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think that'll happen. The writers won't do it, and I don't think Jodie can pull it off. Bear Business One for $10. No, she can't. Jody is a cutesy wootsy little pixie fairy girl who can mope really well. Fury of the Time Lord, please. Now, are there women who could do that? Certainly. Certainly. But the thing is, yeah, it's, you get into conversations you don't want to have about this because you have to say shit out loud that like should be common sense. But like we're raising a generation of people thinking that we're the same. Like men and women are the same. We're not the fucking same. No, we're just not. If you want to make a TV show with female superheroes with powers, kick all the ass they want. You set rules. Powers, great. But if you want to have like the Birds of Prey, who are, one of them had superpowers. One. And she only used it once. And her superpower is not super strength. You can train all you freaking want. Size matters. Size fucking matters. And while a little guy can destroy a big guy who's been fully trained and stuff, as long as that big guy doesn't connect just once. Because if you've ever been in a real fight, which I think few people have, I mean, there used to be a time when I was young, every kid got into a fight. Like every kid, you got into a fight, period. And now they're like, it doesn't happen. I think that's kind of a bad thing. Because, if you've ever been in a real fight, so man or woman, if there's a 50-pound difference, that could get you killed. If there's a 100-pound difference, that'll really get you killed. So if somebody who is 300 pounds hits somebody like Ruby Rose, good kill her. I don't care how much fucking armor she's got on. And if I've been hit by somebody who's much bigger than me. It really hurt. And when I woke up a couple hours later, I was missing teeth and orbital bones were cracked. And yeah, so it's not fun. And you don't fucking get up. You don't. 200 watt studio for $2. Ghost Rider, a janitor. Oh, wait, not Finn enough. 200 watt studio. Exactly. Great point. So with Ghost Rider, they made the Latino is ese. My brother's, he's in a gang and I'm working in the garage. It's like, come on, fucking bullshit. And then they make Finn a janitor. And and he could have been the most interesting character. That is the unintentional racism of Hollywood. Racism. Java Bean for Australian $2.99. Doctor Who has had Australian writers. Why not US? You have an accent. And here in the US, we don't know the fucking difference. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't, Java Bean. I'm trying to think. I just assumed they were all British. I didn't know there were some Aussies. If there were some Aussies, that's great. I don't know. I mean, Australia is almost the UK anyway. I think somebody from Australia could actually understand Doctor Who a little better than somebody from America. I think I would favor Australian over American. I would, if I was given a choice. For SAS, yes, semi-state owned as well. No, it is Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian. Thank you, Benjamin Flensborg, for the 50 Danish krona. Scandinavian, Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian. Smooth Jam California for £5. Remember the JJ Thanos meme I made a while back? Yes, I do. Well, I did one better. Check out the JJ Destroyer, a short meme video I made last week. I will check it out, Smooth Jam California. Is it on your channel? Is it on your channel or is it on your Twitter? And does your Twitter handle match your YouTube name? You'll love it. It's only a minute long, and I would love if you watched it and reacted live here. I don't know where it is. Is it on your channel or is it on your Twitter? You gotta be specific, because a lot of people just assume, like, I know your Twitter name and it doesn't match. Like, oh my God, this guy used to go, you never call me, you never answer my messages. And I found out, like, he was one name on YouTube, and then he was a completely different name on Twitter. And he just thought I knew that. You know, it's like, I don't know these things, guys. You got to let me know. Yeah, I can't do that, buddy. It's got a clip. That's got a clip from the movie in it. So, yeah. So, and that's why I don't rush to show a video or anything. Cause, you gotta, if there's music or if there's anything that can get me copyright struck, nah, I'll check it out on my own. Thank you, Smooth Jam California. And if I like it, I tell you what, I'll share it on Friday Night Tights. Is that fair? We could share it on Friday Night Tights. All you have to do is come in the chat. You don't have to send another super chat. You've already sent one. And remind me in the chat, remind my mods, and we'll show it on Friday Night Tights. But I need to preview it first, and I can't do it while I'm live. I'm sorry. Watcher7180 for $2. I'm left, but I don't agree with the woke culture. Exactly, my friend. That is, you know what? That's speaking, you know, they talk about speaking truth to power. There's also calling out your own fucking people. And that's what needs to be done right now. Because there was a time I agree with the right on a lot of shit. And I agree with the left on a lot of shit. I don't lean any other way. But I feel like the left, I think we're losing the left. We are, to extreme right now. And I know there's a lot of my friends on the left who feel the same way you do, Watcher. We just are tired of woke culture. Okay, we're not against people on the left or right. They still love their country, and we're seeing people on the left who don't love the country, who fundamentally want to change it. I got a problem with that, because I like this country. It's not perfect, and it won't be for a long. What Michael Chabon said, we are not perfect. We are going to get there. Progress, not perfection. But if we continually just look at all the bad shit we've done, you know, yes, there's some bad shit. It happened. And I'm sorry to say, that shit happened to people who've been dead for decades. I'm sorry. What we can do is learn from that and move forward. But if you're going to start punishing people now for what happened back then, that's fucking crazy. And that, you know what? You'll just make enemies. You'll make it's not moving forward. It's not. And it doesn't make that shit okay. It doesn't mean we shouldn't learn from it. I completely agree. We should learn from it and acknowledge it. Don't hide it either. We need to acknowledge that shit for sure. TC the Mandalorian for £2. The Swedish meatball is being teabagged by a Swede. Oh my God. That's terrible. Teabagging. You just wanted to say teabag in a super chat. Or did you want me to say teabag? I have no problem saying teabagging. Teabagging. Thank you, TC the Mandalorian. Ashley Harmon for $10. Thanks, Gary, for covering all that has been happening with Doctor Who. I hadn't seen an episode in years until I ended up watching the episode, the Sanunga Conundrum, randomly. What it was a shit show. This is Doctor Who now? Yes, Ashley. It is Doctor Who now. And the Tsungra Conundrum was an episode where they were on a medical ship and there was a thing called a pating. And it was a little baby thing that ate metal. 200 Watt Studio for $2. Swedish bikini team. Enough said. Oh, enough said. Captain Spire for $2. Graham O'Brien when he saw his wife in that episode. Graham O'Brien when he saw his wife that episode. He O'Brien'd? What do you mean there, Captain Spire? Elaborate on that one. Yes, Graham did see his wife in that episode. But it was in the nightmare part. Yep. Michael Billington for £5. Jodie simply cannot act, regardless of the catastrophic writing. Gary equals simply the best. Wow. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I will take mildly okay, honestly. Thank you very much, Michael. I'm having fun. I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of this. Steve O for $4.99. Gary, watch The Outsider. I heard I should watch that. I know you got a full plate, but it's got True Detective Season 1 vibes. Ooh, okay. Mixed with horror elements. Very good so far. Okay. And it's got Ben Mendelsohn in it. So he's a good actor. I like him. You got it, Steve-O. Rebecca Gold. Great web series. Go check it out. It's an award-winning web series for £5. Hey, daddy of correctional pop culture. I'm dreading the last 2 episodes. I'm hoping the show will not be retconned with the council estate doctor. Well, let me give you some bad news. I'm sorry, but did you see the Next Time trailer for Doctor Who? It's bad. It's got bad news in it. And I will show you. Here we go. See that right there? Okay, I can show some of the trailer I got. Here, we're going to go back here. Right there. Let's look at that again. And what's still to come will change everything. So what do you think is going to happen? And if you're not aware, there is a rumor out there that was passed to me that had mentioned that there would be essentially another female doctor, and it would be the doctor will have originally been female. Okay. It was a very generalized rumor, so it could be applied to a lot of things, but it was insinuated to me, more importantly, that the doctor would have originally been female. Okay. This is something people had guessed before, from my side, mostly in jest. We were joking about it. Like, they'll fucking fuck with the canon and make it originally female. Ha ha ha. They would never do that. Oh, fuck yeah, they would. Hell yeah, they would. So, oh my God, has that thing been off that whole time? That's terrible. That's all right. I guess it could be worse. There we go. So it looks like they might do that. Now they might hoodwink us. They said it's not so the first female doctor of color played by Joe Martin, and the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, might not be the first female doctors. There might be another one, or the first female doctor of color played by Joe Martin might be the first doctor. So, we'll find out I don't think we're going to find out this season. I think we're going to find out one piece of the puzzle, but the other doctor is not from another dimension. It is from the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's past. So it has to be either like a war doctor where it slipped in between 2 and 3, which a lot of people are speculating for what reason. I guess the look of the TARDIS. And she didn't recognize the Sonic. So yeah, it'd have to be before 3. Or it could be an entire cycle of regenerations that are completely forgotten because the timeless child is probably some kid that Rassilon and Omega appropriated her power, and everything you've been told is a lie. That's the famous retcon line in every comic and everything you was told is a lie. Yeah, that's what we're gonna fucking get. God damn it. Just closing out some windows here. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rebecca Gold. That's what it's looking like right now. It's not looking freaking good. Not looking good. KJ for $5. What will Chibnall be remembered for besides his first female doctor, first black female doctor? First doctor was actually a woman after all. Destroying Doctor Who, KJ. Destroying Doctor Who. First white male to destroy Doctor Who, Chris Chibnall. Ryan Lands for $5. Have you seen the trailer for The Hunt? Yes. It's about a liberal elites kidnapping people and hunting them online. Is white people were the worst. Yes, and this is written by Damon Lindelof, who wrote The Woke Man. My name is Damon. Yeah, Damon's a freaking hack. Gary, when is Clownfish TV going to be on your show? Asked Adam Child for $2. When I ask him, probably. I haven't asked him yet. I need to ask him. We got Robert Meyer Burnett coming on this Friday. I would say, I'll shoot him a message and see if they want to come on a Friday Night Tights maybe in the next couple weeks. How's that sound? That'd be fun. I like those. Those are good peeps over there. They're a good channel. Subscribe to Clownfish TV. Frieder Helm for £10. Hi, Gary. Glad to catch you live. Love your channel. If you ever come to Germany, visit Heidelberg. Coffee will be on me. All good things to you and your family. Wow. Thank you. Dankeschön. And you're like, bitte. Bitte, baby. 9 Schnitzenglubens is my limit. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I will check it out. And I would love to have coffee with you in Germany. That in Deutschland. That would be great. That'd be great, Frieder. Thank you. Stay in touch. I'll let you know. I'll be in Europe in a couple months. Jason C. for $20. Hail the Fandom Menace. Hail the Fandom Menace, who had a major acknowledgement on Dave Rubin from reporter Benny June. And I really appreciate that. And that was on the heels of Jar Jar Abrams admitting failure and doing it like a man. So I got to give him for that. Donut Swan for $5. Gary, how do you clean your office? Do you have a Guatemalan slave that comes out and dusts off your toys? No, actually, I have 2 dusters and I dust constantly. I pick a little section and I go constantly. It's like the Golden Gate Bridge. Are you guys aware that they're always painting the Golden Gate Bridge here? It's always in a state of being painted. They never stop. So I had to make clear, they're always painting the bridge. They don't take a day off. They start at one end, paint, and just keep painting forever because it'll rust. That's kind of like what my room is. So I just dust every day. I see a section, I dust. Guatemalan slave is, that's against the rules. It's against the rules. Will Gentry, but thank you, Donut Swan. Will Gentry for $5. I'm off to bed now, but from one overindulger to another, you're sounding a bit more manic today, Gary. Take a moment. Yeah, look after yourself later. Am I manic today? No, I'm not manic today. I'm caffeinated today. Aiden McGurr, thank you for... I think Will Gentry is insinuating that I'm on something. No, I'm on caffeine, my friend. Ada McGurr for £10. I'm getting Tom Baker's first and third seasons. I got this final season last year. First full classic season I've seen after having only seen standalones, and I loved it. Logolopolis was my favorite episode. That was your favorite episode? That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, so was that the Blu-ray ones? I can't remember. There's 2 that came out on Blu-ray. I thought it was the first and the last one. I'm getting Tom Baker's first and third seasons. I got the final season last year. Yes. So they got the first season came out first, and then they came out with the last season. And then they're coming out with the third? You're Aiden. Because you're in the UK. You're getting it before we do. Yeah, it's awesome. And it's good to see you, Aiden McGurr. Been a long time. Mills for 35 Zardazes. Gary, I know who the Trek leaker is, but you can't share it publicly. See Facebook, you won't believe it. Okay. Mills, I'll take a look. With the leaks, you always got to be careful because there could be some counter leaking going on, and then everybody just ends up leaking all over each other. That's the way I see it. Got to get some verification 9th, but maybe you got it. That's cool. Maybe I don't know. I don't know because I'm not there. I assume that anybody who reports on leaks double and triple checks. 9th configuration Blu-ray arrived yet? Enjoy. NK33 for $2. It did. It'll be on Toxic Mailbag on Saturday evening. I'm doing a Toxic Mailbag show on Nerdrotic Live Saturday evening. I've got my mail ready to go. The Legion of Reason for 10 Canadian dollars. Picard could be excellent and still not be Star Trek. The TM implies it uploads the values, or the TM implies it upholds the values of Gene Roddenberry's vision, not this dystopian crap. Exactly. But it does. Damn it. Guy Cooper for $4.99. If they wanted a female Time Lord, they should have brought back Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter. Yes. Or the Doctor's daughter, or whatever. They could, a lot of things. The Ronnie, Romana. I would have watched all that shit. But no, it's agenda. It's motivations. It's agenda. Wasn't there a scene in the Starsky and Hutch movie that they tried to knock someone out with a bottle and they keep trying and trying? Yeah, I think so. I only saw the movie once. And I don't really remember it. I thought it was going to be funnier than it really was. But yeah, that's kind of, are you saying that's what Doctor Who and the franchises and what Hollywood is right now? Absolutely. I agree with that. Mark C. Bad Robots Star Trek Into Darkness says you can transport from Earth to the Klingon Empire. Why does the Federation need a fleet of ships to evacuate Romulus? Story-wise, this show shouldn't exist. Mark C, you're absolutely right. For $10. Thank you for the $10, Mark C. There was a suitcase where they were able to transport themselves to the Klingon Empire. But this is a different universe, apparently. A Destiny Captain for $4.99. Gary, have you ever checked off George Raquel Schmidt on YouTube? He has a wide mix of stuff and some great commentary. Might be interested in having him on. I've never heard of him. I'll check it out real quick. I've never heard a lot of people on YouTube though. So, I mean, that's not an insult or anything. I've just never heard of him. I will look real quick right now. He's got 208,000 subscribers. That's a lot of subs. It's a hell of a lot of subs. Yeah, I'll check it out. It looks interesting. Looks very, very interesting. Oh, he's closed captioned all his stuff too. I really should do that. I should do that too. Okay, thank you, Destiny Captain. Yeah, I'll check that out. I got it bookmarked. I subbed. Force Ghost Jeremy for £2. Have you seen the story about Joe Hill and Doctor Who? Yeah, I talked about it earlier. That was messed up. That was fucked up. Absolutely fucked up. They could have been nicer. I mean, I agree that an American, I don't know. Americans shouldn't run the show. But they can. I think they can write a story. I think that's okay. And for the BBC to say that, wow, not a good look. Do you feel nostalgic for Star Trek Enterprise? Andrew Fisher, £2. I don't know if I feel nostalgic for the old show, but I respect it a lot more now. And I would rather watch it than any of this shite right now. And season 3 was really good. Season 3 and most of season 4. Thank you, Andrew Fisher, for £2. KJ for $2. Retracted message. Oh no, I'm sorry if I didn't get there in time. My bad, KJ. I apologize. James DeGray for £5. Hey, Gary, longtime lurker and a fan. Can I get a shout out for my first attempt at YouTubing? A war games channel called Scruffy Crow. Certainly. Let's go check it out. Let me go take a look. You got 49 subscribers, and it's a War Games channel. And how to DIY your own Rangers and Shadowkeepers tokens. Yeah, looks cool. You can get a shout out. Here, I'll throw it in there. People want to look at that stuff. It looks like you started making videos 2 weeks ago. What is it though? I mean, like, is this, is this Warhammer? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that is some nerdy shit right there, buddy. I like that. Here we go. So that is right there. I'm putting the channel in. You can go check it out if you like. You can go check it out. Thank you. Thank you, James. Yeah, and good luck. Good luck with the channel. Got any questions, hit me up. But it looks like your editing and stuff looks pretty good. Looks good. Adriana Escobar for $5. No comment, just $5 donation. I appreciate it. Lady Mist for $10. Comic Relief, Doctor Who, The Curse of the Fatal Death, 1999. Had a female doctor at the end, played by Joanna Lumsley. Have you seen it? Oh, multiple times, lady. Multiple times. It's written by Stephen Moffat. So wouldn't that be the first female doctor? It was if it was officially canon. But it's not. But it was written by Stephen Moffat. That's right. I love Curse of the Fatal Death. I've seen it a lot. Okay, we're going to wrap this one up. So I'm just checking to make sure I didn't... yeah. Yes. So cool. Will Gentry, I always act like this. I don't know what else. I don't know what you've been watching. Yeah, I'm always like this. I just got back from the gym. I am caffeinated as fuck. I am ready to kill this day, make this day my bitch. And it's only 2:57, so there's tons of day left. I've got 2 videos to make. I'm going to rip Hollywood a new one. We'll see if it works out. I'm not too sure if it's going to work out or not, but we'll try. In the meantime, enjoy my last video. Thank you, everybody, for your constant support. I appreciate it. The next live stream will be Friday Night Tights again with Robert Meyer Burnett. I do want to mention something real quick. Peter Sametti said on his last video from Alterna Comics that Alterna Comics is a comic book publisher, that they weren't invited to do Free Comic Book Day for the first time in 12 years. He and I are going to have a conversation about that in the very near future, because I think that's bullshit. And I know the person who started Free Comic Book Day, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to try to get some conversations to see why they excluded Peter. I'm guessing I know why, but I'd just like to hear it out loud. So, and we'll give Peter a chance to speak up about this, because that's kind of fucked up. So, and if you're not in the comics, you don't know. But Free Comic Book Day is a thing where pretty much everybody can participate in giving free comics. It's supposed to get kids to read comics. Now, of course, it's a bunch of adults taking comics, but it's supposed to be, it exists to help comic stores and to get more kids reading comic books. It's turned into something else, but now it looks like it's getting political like everything else, which is bullshit. And I'm going to call it out. We got one more super chat there. I'm going to get to... Okay, Adriana Escobar for $5. I have to leave, but it as always a pleasure to listen. It's always a pleasure to have you here, Adriana, and I'm leaving as well. So thank you for the $5 and $5 Adam Child. Sonic comes out this week, and it's already being attacked by SGWs for being racist. And we all see Harley Quinn, and we should all see Harley Quinn. LOL. Let's go see Sonic. Go see Sonic. The director is respectful. I don't think I'm going to see it, but you guys go see it. Have fun. And yeah, give that director some money, because he deserves it. Ada McGurr for £5. That thumbnail makes me nauseous. Not even kidding. Gives me a mucus feeling. Glad to be back giving some super chats. Glad to have you back, Aiden. It's good to see you. Nicholas Horton. Here's that info. Alien signal. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that, Nicholas. All right, thanks, bud. All right, thank you, Starry-Eyed Girl. Thank you to the Modrotics. Hello, Paola. How are you? Thank you, Paola. It is good to see you here. And Starry-Eyed Girl and Adam Child and everybody else who's here. Thank you to the mod Rodix for being here. If I missed a super chat, I will make it up in the next one. Everybody have a great, great day. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, not all who wander are lost. And we're going to take you out with some music here. So bye-bye. Have a good one, everyone. See you on Friday Night Tights. And who knows, maybe I'll do a surprise live stream tomorrow. Oh, and there's Exozone tomorrow, too. Don't forget the Exozone. Catch you later.